chance for Donjanu to go 2 for 2 at home, and he does.
He's flying.
And now he'll celebrate. And it's going to be Sandra Velzebor.
And all the while, it is an orange blur on the front. Sandra Velzebor does it again. The exclamation mark in for the Canadian Ice Maples. And it will be the Ice Maples starting off with a gold medal. Night one of the ISU Short Track World Tour in Beijing, more than lived up to expectation. But before skaters pack up camp and head over to Seoul, one final afternoon of racing remains. We know a few things for sure. We're in for a few hours of excitement and high drama as the third stop on this ISU Short Track World Tour reaches its conclusion from here in the Capitol Indoor Stadium. Hi everybody, Gavin Day here, back for one final afternoon. You see the schedule we have for you this afternoon, starting right off with a blur right away with the mixed relay 2,000 meters B final, then A final. Then we get into the other distances, the women's 1,500 and 500, the men's 1,000 meters, all ending with the men's relay. We wait for the lights to come up. But if yesterday was any indication, we are in for another absolute treat as we wrap things up in Beijing. The first of 2 stops this year for the skaters. They will be back here in March for the World Championships. Alongside me, former U.S. national team member, 2-time Winter Olympian Catherine Reuter-Adamek. Looks pretty nice in here, doesn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Gavin, what the ISU has done in the past couple of years is really hunker down on making this a fan-friendly event. We've got music, we've got entertainment, we've got lights. It's going to be a spectacular day of racing here in Beijing.
Lights haven't come up yet. We're in for, we have a show on right now. There's a DJ, you have some dancers there. Fans really filing in here. They really pack the middle, so they create that nice atmosphere. We're in amongst them a little bit here. So we get to feel that experience. Some great moments last night when the likes of Sun Long picked up a gold medal in the 500 meters. We were really feeling that. And when the lights come up, there is a fanfare of a different sort that lets us know we're about ready to get into the action. We are about 2.5 minutes away. We're going to groove here for a little bit enjoying this, and then we will be just about ready to go. Stay with us. There we go. It is now the time to get to work music. Still technically 2 minutes until race start, but
what we're seeing here is the track stewards putting out the blocks. Remember, that is how athletes, not only they skate around the track, but that's how they change tracks in between races, getting fresh ice as we go on throughout our day.
You see the start list for the B final in the team relay mixed event. There's the Italian Gladiators, the Ukrainian Wildcats, the Dutch Lions, and the Canadian Ice Maples. And so, interestingly enough, the Ice Maples threw down a world record in the quarterfinals on qualifying day a couple days ago, but they did not get out of their semi-final. And so here they are. It's actually a pretty loaded A final with the likes of the Gladiators and the Lions as well. And as we've spoken a few times, every point counts in the Team Crystal Globe standings, particularly in these relays.
Well, Gavin, it's triple points here in the relays. So yes, big contribution to the overall standings towards the Crystal Globe, which will be awarded at World Tour Stop 6 in Milan, which is also the test event for the 2026 Olympics.
It really is a nice quirk with that team standings where, yes, you can have some solid individuals putting up some big numbers, but it's a team event, and so they put added precedence on those team races. And so lining up just about ready to go, just run through the starting lists. In the 2,000 meters, the exchanges are scheduled. So every skater gets 2.5 laps, and then every skater gets a second turn at 2 laps. And so it does create a little bit of complication if a skater goes down. We've seen some exchange confusion, but that's the name of the game, and victory goes to the team that really is the most alert. And so it is Chiarabetti starting for the Gladiators, Yelizaveta Sidorko for the Wildcats, starting with Michelle Velzeboer this time for the Lions, and it is Florence Brunel right there, number 27 for the Ice Maples.
Ready.
So the 2 winners, and we're going to bring this one back. Actually, not something we see too often when there's that race into the first corner. If there is a bit of contact, they have been bringing them back, usually in the 500 though, not something we see too often here. We're going to look at it.
And even beyond contact, anything around the first corner. So there's the blade contact there. So all the way around to block 7, there are 7 blocks. The 4th block is the apex block, which is basically where athletes do a full 180. And then the 7th block is when you're in the clear off of that half lap start, as long as there's no contact, no falls, nothing like that. That's how you know that the race is off to a clean start.
So both the skaters involved in that little incident, Sidorko and Velzeboer getting their blades looked at.
And so what the coaches are doing here is considered a pit stop in the sport of short track. They are loosening and tightening the bolts. Every blade on these skaters' ice, it has a bend, and that bend has been shaped meticulously by the coaching staff. Any little bump or jostle does run the risk of changing the numbers that have been put onto those blades. A simple loosening and tightening can help work out any kinks. It's not a perfect fix, but it's what we have time for, and it's good enough.
And we saw some of the fans with the phones out. They really do come out with anyone in the red, black, and yellow of the Chinese lungs is on the ice, and we will see plenty of them today. It's Chiarabetti starting for the Gladiators. They also have Ariana Siegelt, Thomas Natalini, and Lorenzo Previtali. Of course, both the Velzeboer sisters for the Lions, Toon Boer and Jens van het Wout.
Go to the start. Ready.
And everybody's through this time. And we'll point out now that world record the Canadians set a couple of days ago, 2:35.427. It wasn't planned, they just decided to go for it, and they were going for it very quickly that day.
And it was a surprise for everybody, but you know, obviously something that is a testament to how strong this Canadian team is, to not really even be trying. You say, hey, let's go out, let's have a fast race, and look at that, it's a world record.
It's Ariana Siegel in, it's Kim Boutin in for the Canadians. It is Ksenia Adamenko for the Ukrainian Wildcats. Maybe not the fancy team in this field, but if you've watched us over the course of the weekend and the sport in general, anything is possible. Yesterday we saw the Kazakh Nomads getting a first ever women's senior level medal. They picked up a bronze in the women's relay.
And not only an historic event, but underneath brand new Kazakh head coach Wilma Boomstra.
The Italian Gladiators still in front. It is Previtali. They did not opt to enter Pietro Siegel and his brother, but with the men's relay coming up and individual events as well, certainly measuring their exertions is the name of the game. It's Van het Wout on for the Lions, Stephen Dubois in for the Ice Maples, and Oleg Hyundai for the Wildcats.
And I do have my eyes on the Canadian Ice Maples. They're in 3rd place. Florence Brunel setting up and making the pass.
As the Lions and the Gladiators went shoulder to shoulder, the door was open, and Florence Brunel happily goes through.
She goes through and she even pulls a gap. Great timing here to push her teammate.
Now let's see if Boutin with open ice in front of her can shift. She has one of the fastest women in the world right behind her, but of course Boutin, the 500-meter world champion, and she's no slouch either, as Sandra Velzeboer makes the move for the lead.
A really nice setup on that pass, immediately into a powerful push.
Jordan Pierre-Gilles on for the Ice Maples, who is right behind Tumbor. You hear the gun, one more exchange allowed. Gladiators trying to hang in. You will see Dubois coming in and Jens van 't Wout.
Watch off this exchange. We want to see two crossovers going into the corner. Both teams miss it there. And again, so I don't know if that's ice conditions or fatigue, but there's a 2-in, so that's indicative of top speed.
And so we'll see if Dubois can get another chance to go for the line. He goes wide, and in the end, Jens van 't Wout hangs on. And the Dutch Lions take the B final, 2:39 and change, so a couple seconds off that world record. But Dubois had the opportunity, got close, that just the door wasn't open for him, and it really cost him some speed there down the stretch.
And it's really important to time those passes so that they're as efficient as possible. Every time you have to scrub your speed, you're losing energy. The goal in this race is to be as smooth as possible. All right, so not a great tag from the Italian team. You can see how number 23, her hips sink back, her chest flies up, and then that's what's creating the contact between her and the Dutch Lion.
And that's where it opened the door for Lunel to take the lead, but it was short-lived.
Two crossovers coming into the turn here, but a beautiful pass by Zandra coming up the inside. And then exchanging female to male. Now this can be hard. Oh, and here we come around to the last lap. Jens van 't Wout defending the inside lane. Steven Dubois has to sit up just a little bit. And we see that 2-foot pivot, that long pivot. That means they're going so fast, the ice can barely hold them up.
And that's how it's done.
That is how it's done. A lesser skater would certainly struggle to keep that lean angle of the hip around the corner, but that's why we're seeing the best of the best here and preparing to see the A final.
So it's official. Netherlands now on the season in the mixed gender relay, a gold, a silver, and a 5th place conceivably here. A final coming up, and you're going to get a roar, and I imagine it'll be quite a big one. It has the Chinese Lungs, the Korean White Tigers, the USA Eagles, and the Polish Hussars. And as is always the case here, we're going to first show you how the teams got to the finals, from the quarters to the semis, all the way to this A final. And then we will throw it down to the ice for the official showtime introductions of the 4 teams going for gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the mixed team relay final A. Let's welcome the skaters. 女士们、先生们，即将进行的是混合团体接力决赛，让我们欢迎运动队入场。我们先进入1号位 ，Chinese Lungs 中国队。Position number 2， 2号位 ，Korean White Tigers， 韩国队。Position number 3， 3号位 ，USA Eagles， 美国队。Position number 4， 4号位 ，Polish Hussars， 波兰队。
Saw a couple of the reserve skaters joining their teams, and as we saw yesterday, sometimes they are called upon with the unfortunate crash in the women's relay of Wang Ye. Obviously, we're still hoping for good news from her, the young skater. We put that aside and we focus on what is at hand. You saw the teams introduced, but the Korean White Tigers bringing the heavy hitters, both those Crystal Globe helmets out there.
The Chinese women having a disappointing result yesterday. An injury caused a reskate in the ladies' 3,000 meter, and then as the reskate was finished, a penalty to the home country. They are out for vengeance here today. You better bet they want to win gold.
Van Keshin for the Lungs, Lee So-yun for the White Tigers, Corin Stoddart for the Eagles, and Natalia
Go to the
Malashevska
start.
for the Hussars.
Ready.
Stoddart already on the podium this weekend. Opting, discretion is the better part of valor, watching the three teams clash into the corner first while she goes, you guys go, I'll be on along shortly.
I do think that was great strategy for her, because look at her now. She's stepping out wide, she's building her speed. She's not having to waste energy on track patterns. She's purely focused on nailing the timing of this push. Watch how she comes in tight, makes the connection into Kristen Santos-Griswold.
And there's a collision as Lee goes down, but it was after the exchange was made and the big roar. And down go the Hussars. That will get a review already. Action everywhere you look. You cannot look down. Gong Li in front, but Kim Gi-lee right behind her, and Kristen Santos-Griswold not far behind as well.
That does eliminate some pressure now that there's three teams still on their feet.
And it is the man of the hour right now, Sun Long, a gold and a bronze yesterday as the toast of Beijing, out for more, and he will exchange to Liu Xiaoan. And Park Ji-won also into the mix now. And Andrew Hyo for the USA Eagles, still three in close quarters.
And nice to see these athletes skating with arms on their back. That means they're conserving energy, saving themselves for the final sprint.
And we're about to see the women introduced once again. And Stoddart looks up the inside, and she takes second.
Really nice timing on that pass. Now again, we're seeing Corinne Stoddart taking those two crossovers into the corner, building up to top speed.
And Stoddart, is she going to try to push her teammate to the lead? Santos-Griswold not going to take a look. She's just going to tuck in. But look out, Kim Gi-lee in third right now. And now Santos-Griswold goes for the lead ahead of Gong Li.
A well set up pass. We'll see if they can hold it as they transition from the female to male skaters here.
The Americans, bronze medalists in this event at the World Championships back in spring in Rotterdam. It's Marcus Howard. The USA Eagles looking for their first mixed gender relay medal of the season, but it's anyone's race right now.
Marcus Howard holding them off in first, using a defensive track pattern, passing on to Andrew Hyo, who maintains the lead.
It is Hyo. Last exchange is made. USA all the way at the moment. Here comes the move. It's Liu. It's Park. Who is going to take it? It's three skaters going for it. It is Liu Xiaoan. Chinese lungs gold. Takes a tumble in celebration.
So much excitement, you can barely contain it. They have a lot to celebrate for here at home.
Lungs know how to do this relay very, very well, the defending world champions. I don't think anything is getting a review that would affect the results. We await for things to be made official. The celebrations are on. The Chinese lungs on home ice.
An emotional head coach and emotional fans here. The Chinese team did not have spectacular results at World Tour stops 1 and 2, but here they have really outdone themselves performing in front of the home crowd.
Park Ji-won, valiant effort to try to close it up. Andrew Hyo trying to hang on. Grandstand finish with three skaters pretty much shoulder to shoulder going in that last corner.
So a very aggressive start from the Polish team. Now remember, the Polish team is well known for their sprinting. So even though she's in a good position here. Let's see what happens around this turn. Maybe she sits down a little too low. Maybe the ice breaks out. Either way, no call, no contact. Again, there's those two crossovers going into the corner. Santos Griswold hugging tight to the blocks, nailing the timing inside the Chinese skater to slingshot up the inside lane.
And they tried to hang on. It was down to the final lap. They're watching the replay down on the ice. They're looking at what you're looking at right now. Just breaking things down as they get their podium jackets on.
See Marcus Howard there looking over his shoulder, skating defensively. A pass set up coming from the Chinese longs up into second.
And Hyo just had two absolute forces going. There was an opportunity there perhaps as Park and Liu went together. Just not much of an opening for Hyo to go through.
Hyo was put in a tough spot because going into that corner, he was not able to get his appropriate amount of steps going in. That makes it hard to create a setup here in the last turn. Showing getting a little early celebration there. He knows he's done it.
And home ice is doing a world of good to this program. 3 medals over 2 weekends in Montreal. Maybe not up to their exacting standards, but they are taking full advantage of being back to the ice that they perhaps know better than anyone in the world. There you have it. No changes to the results. The Lungs, the White Tigers, and the Eagles 1, 2, and 3. Solid injection of points, though, to that Team Crystal Globe standings for the Polish Hussars, with the current leaders, the Canadian Ice Maples, into the B final. All these teams making some good gains. We'll throw it down for the medal presentation.
Beijing, China, 2024 to 2025. 女士们、先生们，2024至2025赛季国际滑联短道速滑世界巡回赛北京站混合团体接力颁奖仪式现在开始。Medals will be presented by the chief referee, Ms. Balazs Kovet, assistant referee 李勇。为获奖运动员颁奖的是裁判长巴拉兹科维尔，副裁判长李勇。In third place and winner of the bronze medal from the USA, representing the USA Eagle， 获得铜牌的是美国队。Christian Santos Griswold, Korean Stoddard, Hale Andrew, Marcus Over. USA Eagles. In second place and winner of the silver medal from Korean Republic, representing the Korean White Tigers, 获得银牌的是韩国队 Kim Ji-lee, Lee Song-young, Park Jin-woo, Jung Sung-woo. The Korean White Tigers. In first place, and winner of the gold medal from China, representing the Chinese lungs, 获得金牌的是中国队，巩俐、范可新、刘少昂、孙龙。Chinese rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists. 女士们、先生们，让我们再一次把掌声送给获奖运动员。
So that's the first session. Just the slightest taste of what is to come. There's the updated team relay standings. Now, Catherine, as you mentioned, it's triple in the overall Crystal Globe standings, but the points are just multiplied by 1, I guess, for just the discipline standings. All the way down to 15th. See a readjustment as well in the Team Crystal Globe standings, but still, even after this, still 3 more events to come, Catherine, so a lot of racing. Oh, we didn't even get that. We'll get that later. Anyway, we are heading into a break. You see the time. It is about 12 minutes from now, so just getting warmed up from here in Beijing. Women's 1500 and men's 1,000 meters coming up. Day 2 of the ISU Short Track World Tour from here in Beijing. Gavin Day alongside me, Catherine Reuter-Adamek. Now, it is still year 1 with the new team identities. And now let's take a look and learn a bit more about what is representing those countries.
This year we are the USA Eagles. The eagle is known as the American animal. They're definitely fast and smooth and very technical. I think it's a very intimidating animal.
I'm so excited to race for Team USA. We're really excited to represent our country and our new mascot.
I'm very proud. It's a coming up country in speed skating and we're really strong and I think we're making a name for ourselves, so I'm very happy to be part of this team.
We are the Bulgarian Kings. I really like the new whole idea about this. I really like the new logos. The Bulgarian Kings is a really good logo for me. Yeah, it shows our history, from our history, how it started, the real Bulgarian Kings. This is a new chapter for us, so we need to do our best now.
We are Ukrainian Wildcats. I think it's an interesting idea and it's something special points for every team. You never know what inside of mind of cats, so maybe it will be interesting, yeah.
私たちは日本の忍者です。私たちの国では昔、すごい昔、諜報員として忍者という人たちがいて、自分の主人、マスターのために戦略を練って相手を勝ち取るために活動してくれていたという歴史があります。私は忍者というコンセプトはすごく気に入っていて、それは忍者というのはとても速い動きで、俊敏に相手に気づかれずに相手を倒すっていう風な言い伝えがあって、僕たちはそれを聞いていて、ショートトラックにおいて相手に気づかれずにパスする、相手に気づかれないうちに抜き去るっていうのはとても重要だと思うし、それに対して勝つために戦略を練っていくっていうことは、僕たちにも通じるものがあるなというふうに思っています。
Our team is called the Czechia Ice Spiders. We are embracing our new Spider-Man theme. I like the new suits. I'm excited to see how the new concept looks, and I'm excited to represent the Czechia Ice Spiders.
Now, Catherine, back in your competition days, you were skating for the USA, the United States of America. If you were skating now, you would have been an Eagle. What's your take on the new identities we have this season?
Well, my favorite part about the new identities this season is that it creates a sense of unity. Speed skating is well known as an individual sport. Every once in a while we come together for a relay. But now with the new identities, we're seeing a greater sense of unity, a greater sense of camaraderie, athletes really coming together to compete for the Crystal Globe.
Now let's take a look back at what we saw yesterday.
Here in Beijing, I always have fun and I always have good races, so hopefully it will be a good weekend too.
중국에 다시 와서 경기할 수 있어서 굉장히 기쁘고요. 그리고 많은 관중들 앞에서 경기하는 것이 굉장히 기대됩니다.
Chinese fan always support me super great, so c'est that idea.
The arena here is amazing. I think it's definitely one of the best ice rinks in the world, if not the best.
Welcome to the Capital Indoor Stadium from Beijing, China, site of the third stop on the ISU Short Track World Tour. Look who's coming, Donjanu and Park, as we go inside. Park Ji-won strikes back in Beijing. Oh, goodness.
나머지 네 바퀴에서 아웃 패스를 했던 게 승리의 키포인트였던 것 같고, 만약 그 타이밍을 놓쳤으면은 몬트리올과 별다를 거 없는 레이스를 했을 것 같은데, 그 키포인트를 챙겼기 때문에 이번 레이스에서 1등을 할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
What a start list. The two winners from the two weekends in Montreal, Choi Min-jong, Sandra Velzebor. Here comes Corin Stoddard. It's going to be the dash to the line. It is Danae Blay.
It's crazy. I never thought I would win a gold this weekend. And I think I still need to improve so many things. So I didn't feel like it was now. But now I see that I can impress myself. And be the strongest with me.
2 lungs, an ice maple, a white tiger, and a lion. Now, it is the red wall on the front. Dubois loses his speed. That means the door is open. Sun Long is gold.
在我自己的主场拿到这个金牌，我觉得很让人振奋。然后我希望在接下来的比赛和明天的比赛，中国队还会有金牌获得。
5 teams out there. A lot of traffic, but it's a race for the medal. And there is a collision there. Both the Nomads go down. The collision between the White Tigers and the Lungs. The Canadians, far and away, they stayed out of trouble this time around, and they will cross the line first in Beijing.
It's really fun to finish the first day of the World Tour with some hardware, a little medal with the girls especially. It's so special when we can win as a team, and I'm really proud of this team, and I think that we have great things ahead of us, and I'm just excited to keep it going.
Right back into the middle of things. Women's 1500 meter semifinals. They do come back out quite quickly, not long after, for the finals. So sandwiched in there will be the men's 1000 meter quarters. The women's 1500 before the first heat gets out onto the ice. Just run through it quickly. 3 heats. 7 skaters in each heat, first 2 from each race, and up to a maximum of 1 fastest third place skater goes to the A final. So if you're trying to think that you might be going for that third place time, your odds historically are, well, hit or miss, Catherine.
That's right. So with 7 on the line in each of these races, remember there is a qualification for a final B as well as final A. So there's a little bit of a chess match that needs to happen here. You want to be in first or second, obviously, but sometimes it's smart to play it smart, because if you're all the way back in 7th, you won't get a final at all, and you will not get points towards the Crystal Globe that will be awarded on World Tour 6 in February.
So that will add to the interest here, where they'll be passing even for those places to get into the B final. Should be noted, Kim Boutin of the Canadian Ice Maples is not going to be on the start line for the semifinals. He's not feeling well a little bit, but we might see her again. It's obviously, with 1 more week still to go, measuring someone's exertions and keeping them healthy is still the priority.
And with the women's 500 meter coming up today, they are saving her legs a little bit, since that is her specialty.
There is a look at Choi Min-jong. 3 Korean White Tigers towing the line. Kim Gi-lee and Shim Suk-hee joining her. Saw the start list. There's also Alung, an Ice Bear, and Hyojin Kim, the Racing Roo, who made it through the repechage this morning.
Go to the start. Ready.
This might be one of those races where nobody is thinking of being the fastest third place skater.
That's right. And something to point out here is that the skater with the helmet number 1, it looks like a target on top of her head. That's Kim Gi-lee. She just competed in the mixed team relay. She's the only athlete in this round who has already been on the ice today. She's already got an exertion underway. She's the best in the world, but that doesn't mean you're exempt from getting tired. I'll be interested to see if she saves energy in this race or if she gets to the front and is aggressive with her strategy.
She is also 20 years old, so we'll see how that youth can play into things.
That helps, doesn't it?
It is Hannah de Smet, the Belgian Ice Bears on the front. She has a trio of White Tigers behind her. And then it is Zhang Chutong of the Lungs, Kim of the Racing Roos, and now starting to move forward, Hirai Ami.
I would like to see Hirai or Kim make a big move up to the front, and it seems like they've missed the timing here. Choi Min-jung saying, I'll take, no, Suki Shim saying, oh my goodness, Choi Min-jung saying, I'll take it.
Choi Min-jung going to the front. Whenever she is always one to watch. Already a silver medal this season, but now Kim Gi-lee goes to the front as skaters behind her start to go shoulder to shoulder.
Great defensive skating by the Chinese Lung. Her job is to keep the Korean White Tigers apart. You do not want to see Korea skating 1, 2, 3 in this race. Every other athlete wants to create space, increasing their opportunity to move on to the final.
Everyone always likes the skaters sitting in second place, and it's doing a job right now for Zhang Chutong, being able to watch.
She needs to watch for Choi Min-jung, who's building now.
Here comes Choi trying to get around the outside. And she will get around one. Will she try to go around her teammate as well? Hannah de Smet following in her wake, trying to slot into third. She threads the needle there.
Suki Shim also building on the outside.
Here comes Shim, trying to close on de Smet now. Everybody all over the ice, trying to get forward. De Smet into second. Kim still leads, and it is the other duo of White Tigers, and it looks like it is going to be Kim and de Smet. And Choi Min-jong, we'll have to see if that will get her into the A final, but savvy from de Smet to get up there, get into second, break up that Korean wall, as you like to spot it or say it, and yeah, get behind Kim into second.
That's right, and I am surprised to see so much effort from Kim Gi-lee and Choi Min-jung. It says to me, hey, with 7 people on the line, I don't want to get stuck in back. I don't want to have to do this big power move on the outside. I want to play it a little more safe. We're seeing an outside pass here from Choi Min-jung. What she does so well, she hugs in tight on the apex block. Watch her timing, how she's almost immediately back on the track as she overtakes Kim Gi-lee.
And de Smet was the one who followed Choi too, and that helps her to slingshot her to get up into second.
Excellent timing and strategy by Hannah de Smet, qualifying outright for the A final.
Nothing is being reviewed, and so that one's already been made official. Kim and de Smet are through. Choi will have to see if 227.954 is enough to get her into the A final. Shim Suk-hee right to the B final, and Zheng will now watch to see if her time stands up as well. Heat number 2 brings in the North American flavor a little bit more here. Corin Stoddard of the USA Eagles, Ariana Fontana, Sandra Velzebor, Elisa Confortula, so a pair of gladiators. Danae Blay, the winner yesterday in the women's 1,000 meters. Zoe Deltrap and Petra Vankova, the Lion and the Ice Spider, who came through the repechage this morning. There is Danae Blay. You may have just seen her in between these sessions speaking about her win yesterday. And of course, the Canadians going on to win gold in the women's relay.
This is your fire. Close that. Go to the start. Ready.
Ariana Fontana starting out of position 3 there. She is currently ranked 61st in the world, but a lot of that is due to the fact that she was not really skating at all last year. That sort of moves you down, but she returned. Actually, pardon me, she's not even on the line, is she?
No, she did not show up for this race, which is quite the big surprise, especially considering she did not compete in the team events. Sandra Belzebor and Corinne Stoddard, 2 more racers who've already touched the ice today. A big shock to not see Ariana Fontana on this start line.
As I was talking, I was pointing at our screen that Fontana was in position 2 on the start list, but I was wondering why Sandra Belzebor, who was in position 3, had slotted into position 2, and we explained it to ourselves as we were talking about it. So just the one gladiator, it is Elisa Confortola, and if the first heat was not going for the time, well, this one is trying to do that even more.
Confortola moving on the outside, though. She's not even picking her blades up off the ice, which does tell you how fast they're going. It's not super fast. That is a strategy. They're conserving energy. This is typically what happens when you have mostly sprinters in a race. And we are seeing now a move from Sandra Belzebor as well as Denis Nikisha, the Canadian Ice Maple. And now we're going to start to see some shuffling within the pack.
Beginning, Sandra Belzebor under the Crystal Globe format, skaters have to really pick up points in the races that aren't to their strengths. And that would be maybe this one if you're Sandra Belzebor, but now Danae Blais, a win yesterday. She gets to the front, but perhaps only for shortly as Zoe Deltrap moves to the front, and really the washing machine going right now.
Smart move by Danae Blais to keep the 2 Dutch Lions split apart. It only is short-lived as Corinne Stoddard sneaks into the front and gets back in control of the race.
It is Stoddard who was on the podium in Montreal in the 1500, but now Danae Blais retaking the impetus.
And now we are starting to see the speed pick up. Confortola doing another move on the outside. She's spending a lot of energy today, but she wants that front spot.
This one really flying right now. Coming up to 3 to go. It is Danae Blais, Corinne Stoddard, wondering when she might make a move.
Corey's moving right now. She went in wide to the corner, carrying her speed out on the exit. She's setting up a path. Will she make it?
She goes outside. Sandra Belzebor all the while tucked in quietly on the inside to take the lead. At the bell, it is Sandra Belzebor, Corinne Stoddard, Danae Blais, perhaps too much room to go. And it's looking like the 2 women who sort of went outside and inside on Blais, who will get on to the semis. Pardon me, into the A final. We're in the semis.
And it's funny because you're watching this semi and you're thinking, gosh, this might as well be an A final with how much talent we're seeing out there. So let's watch the review here. Corinne Stoddard doing a great job keeping that speed. So she's progressing even as Danae Blais is coming around. That means she can stay close when the speed is finished, and that's helping her defend against the 3rd and 4th place skater right now. Excellent moves here from both skaters, overtaking Danae Blais, Belzebor on the inside, Corinne on the outside, tucking into 2nd in a safe place to go for another medal round. She's already got 2 bronze medals this weekend. We'll look forward to seeing what she can do next.
This pump there after, what was that, close for 3rd. Not that it matters, as it is the slower of the 2 heats so far. So there's a fist pump from Belzebor, a thumbs up there. Certainly happy to chance to pick up some big points in those Crystal Globe standings, an event where it might not be to her forte. But that was the slower of the 2 heats by some margin, about 18 seconds difference between the winning times. So if this 3rd heat goes for it early, as you like to point out, it's easier to make up the time early than have to chase later on.
It is easier to make up the time early, and looking ahead, we will have 2 Chinese longs in this race as well as 2 Japanese ninjas, and that does tell me there's going to be lots of heavy hitters here looking for that fastest 3rd time.
There is Zhang Yize. There's also Gong Li, and there are the 2 ninjas in frame, conveniently enough. That is Nakashima Mide, Yamana Rina, the other one there. Kristen Santos Griswold also here, as is Courtney Sereau. making her return to the circuit after concussion issues kept her off the ice in Montreal. If you were watching in Montreal, she did join myself and Tyler Dara, chatted for a little bit, and now she's eager to be down there than up here. Sorry, Kathy.
Seven behind 6. Go to the start. Ready.
What do you see from the first few strides? They look like they're going for it more than the other ones.
Well, and so as we saw before, a slow pace is indicative of a field full of sprinters. A quick pace is indicative of a field full of endurance racers. So especially Kristen Santos Griswold preferring the longer distances, Courtney Sereau excelling in the longer distances. The Chinese skaters are typically known as sprinters, however, they're competitors in every distance. Italy also typically a country known for its sprinting, and Japan falling somewhere right in the middle.
Sandwiched in there is Gloria Ioriatti of the Italian Gladiators, a skater who is often right around the leaderboard. She won the B final yesterday, or won a B final yesterday. Was it in the... It would have been the 1,000. That makes sense, because it was the only 1,000 yesterday. It is Sereau on the front right now. Ioriatti up at the front as well. This certainly would be the race from the looks of things to have that one advancing third place time. Of course, everybody has to get to the line safely for that to happen. And now we're starting to pick up.
And we are seeing the cruising speed starting to pick up into more of a tempo that makes it more challenging for skaters to complete their pass, especially when there's jostling like we're seeing now.
And it is Sereau retaking the lead. Here comes Zhang as well, sort of sandwiched there, now forced back to fourth.
A lot of sandwiching happening here, and what happens when, oh, that's a touch from behind. We'll see how well Kristen recovers. That's 2 corner entries in the last lap. She hasn't gotten a full crossover in, which does affect your energy and your speed.
Santos Griswold able to stay on her feet despite taking a bit of a bump, and now the American takes the lead.
Excellent timing, and Sereau tucks into second. This might be what Sereau wanted all along, was to be ready for Kristen Santos Griswold to come to the front. I would call Santos Griswold the favorite to win this race.
The teams with 2 skaters in the field are being pushed to the back right now. It is North Americans dominating proceedings at the bell. Kristen Santos Griswold, a chance to get back into an A final. Courtney Sereau, a chance to get into her second A final of the weekend, and Ioriatti goes down. That was up against Nakashima, or it was Yamana, pardon me. And so that will be looked at. Might have just been an incident of just trying to get that third place position and just going right up into the skater in front of you.
So we have some replays here, and as you're seeing skaters on the outside, it's hard out there because any little bump from the inside, just like we're seeing here, can affect every skater in the front, back, and on either side. Kristen Griswold, being the veteran that she is, unfazed,
Nice.
not missing a single tempo stride in that race.
And it is the fastest heat, so if there is a third place going, it would be from this one. And yeah, there is actually nothing getting reviewed or penalized, and so Gloria Ioriatti, unfortunate for her, this is the look right there, just not able to hang on to her feet. And so it's Santos Griswold and Sereau going into the A final. Yamana Arena also joining them as the fastest third place skater, so we go clean. And then the 2 Chinese lungs going into the B final. And the door opening on the far side there as we confirm those results exactly as I read to you, I think, I hope. Nakashima, Mide, Ioriatti. That is the end of their 1,500 meters. And so the men's 1,000 meters coming back out. List of qualifiers for the A final. go. And so 4 heats coming up in the men's 1,000 meters. First 2 from each heat, and a maximum of 2 fastest third-place skaters move on to the semis. And in heat number 1 coming up, we have Felix Roussel, Canadian Ice Maples, Michał Niewinski of the Polish Hussars, Dan Kos of the Dutch Lions, Felix Pigeon of the Polish Hussars, so 2 Hussars in this one, and then Niall Tracy of the British Lions. Michał Niewinski, already a 1,000-meter medal on World Tour, that coming back in Montreal. But Felix Roussel also a very dangerous skater indeed. He was crashed out of one of the finals yesterday. Would certainly like to get his first individual medal on the World Tour season.
Go to the start. Ready.
Always interesting to see the pre-race routines. Niewinski always sort of tense his hands before he goes, but since there's a crash right at the apex there, they will bring that one back. If it was self-inflicted, they might have allowed to keep going, but I think there was some contact there.
So you can expect to see athletes hopping over onto the boards, getting a quick blade check, or maybe just Dan Kos here. We'll look at the replay. I can't quite tell from this angle if there was a click or just a
maybe just
lost
elbows,
edge.
and then the blade went out from under him after the little bit of bump from Roussel. Roussel getting it looked at too. There's Marc Gagnon, the longtime Canadian national team great, and the gold medalist now in the coaching role for this Canadian Ice Maples side.
5-time world champion there, checking Felix Roussel's blades alongside Laurent Dagnon, one of the most skilled blade techs. Kip Carpenter there, an American long track medalist, been coaching in the Netherlands for about 10 years now.
The Dutch program also like their long track brethren in Herenveen, big facility there around Tialf. Certainly ranking high on my list. I still haven't done it as a long track event at Tialf in Herenveen.
The Tialf is very fun. You'll really like it when you go. Rent yourself a bike. It's part of the culture.
Oh no, that's part of mine too. I'm always on mine. If you know me, I'll be chattering your ear off about that, but people don't want to hear about that. Back to the line for take 2.
Go to the start. Ready.
In addition to tenting his fingers, I think 3 times I see the swipe every time from Niewinski. And this time, everybody is through. When the dust settles, it's Felix Roussel in front, but there's still a battle brewing behind him.
And now they've started to line up, but it won't last long. Give it another half a lap, maybe a whole lap. You'll see an explosive move. Someone wants to be up front, controlling the pace.
Roussel keeping them at bay, but things never stay the same for long in this sport. Expect a big change coming up any moment. Niewinski getting right up behind Roussel, but watch out his own teammate coming up. It's Felix Pigeon, the Canadian-born Polish Hussar.
Roussel doing a tremendous job holding everyone back. He's already down close to the 9-0s, 8-9 on that last lap, which actually eliminates not anyone's, but it decreases the ability of that big power move coming from the back, because this is already an impressive speed.
Bobble coming out of the corner by Niewinski, gets back up to speed. If anyone can make a short burst of speed, it's Michał Niewinski. Niall Tracy looking around to sniff it, try to go at third. At the bell, it's Roussel, still keeping everyone away. A fine job by the Canadian Ice Maple skater. Dan Kos taking a look. He's going to pressure Niewinski, but it is still Roussel and Niewinski using that long reach to hang on for second.
Roussel crossing in an unofficial 123.7. World record in this distance is a 120.8.
We are permanently on guard for that now, since I think we were both caught off guard in the mixed relay. They won't fool us twice. But nothing getting reviewed there.
So watching this replay here, that is a tight little hole by the British Royal to sneak in there, but again, no review and a tremendous lead by Felix Roussel. It is rare to see someone lead an entire 1,000 meters start to finish, a testament to his fitness.
So look at Roussel into the semis. Now Tracy, a 123.825 in third place, and so he now will watch and wait to see if he maintains one of the 2 fastest possible third place times to move on. Second heat now, skaters on the ice. It has the man currently in the Crystal Globe standings, already a silver medal, William Dongenou, the world champion in the 1,000 as well. So if there's a man to watch, as we've seen, it's usually him, but there's no shortage of talent. Jordan-Pierre Gilles, Jung-Sun Woo, Stan de Smet, and Liu Xiaolin. This is a quarterfinal.
This is a quarterfinal, and to be honest, almost all 5 men could go through. They're that good. We're going to eliminate the field of 5 down to 2, maybe 3, depending on whether or not we see that fastest time. We are taking 2 fastest thirds, but friendly reminder if you're watching at home, if there are advancements, the fastest thirds are not moving on. They will take the advancement over the fastest thirds.
Go to the start. Ready.
Liu Xiaolin already seeing his brother get onto the podium in the 500 meters yesterday. This Chinese lung side is without Lin Xiaojun, who was in Montreal, so changing up the roster here a little bit. And as you might expect, Dongenou at the front, Pierre Gilles in second, and they have skated like this before, like in Montreal in 1,000 a few months ago, or last month rather.
This is great strategy. They're doing exactly the right thing. And here we are, Jordan-Pierre Gilles wanting to go up to the front, taking over the lead.
De Smet closing back up. Keep an eye out for Liu. And Jung-Sun Woo, obviously a guy who's been on the podium in the 1,000 meters also. It's the podium. I'm just looking at it. It's the podium for week 2 in Montreal in this quarterfinal. Dongenou, Pierre Gilles, and Jung-Sun Woo. It only just hit me, and De Smet goes into the corner. That's a full flip from Pierre Gilles, and he's getting up after it.
Unavoidable contact by Pierre Gilles. Hopefully he's okay because he was in second, which means he could be advanced.
It is Dongenou in front. Liu and Jung-Sun Woo still on their feet. And it is Jung getting into second. And that could spell danger for Liu Xiaolin if there is any advancement, but it's Dongenou staying away from the danger. Jung-Sun Woo in second, but it all went a little more chaotic than usual. When De Smet made a pass into the corner, he went down sliding into it, and then Jordan-Pierre Gilles nowhere to go but up, really.
To your point, he did pop up and continue to skate, so thank goodness for the health and safety of the athletes. They are continuing around the track, skating their last lap. Here's one move. Oh no, here's the move. He's trying to squeak in. He does not take a crossover, which means he's losing speed coming around the apex.
I think that's the one where he did get through there.
He did get through, you're right. Oh, is this? We'll just have to see. Stan doing a really nice job playing with his track patterns. Here's where it is. He's trying to rush it. He's trying to force it. He is not by. Oh my goodness. Dongenou maintaining his composure around the corner, no doubt with some concern about his teammate setting in now as they get off the ice.
Pierre Gilles, of course, we can make the stereotype about Canadian ice hockey players, so he's taken a few hits once or twice. That one was a wallop. And he can always worry, landing like that, there's the potential to hit a bone or something, but just the way he landed. But he got up, and he's a tough fella.
Holding on to that hip a little bit. I'm not sure if that's a sore muscle or if he landed on a sore spot.
Taking a look now. I think we know what they're looking at.
Certainly.
Look at that shot in the review room. Jordan-Pierre Gilles disappearing into the pads.
And it begs the question for me, this is obviously being reviewed for a penalty, but when a penalty becomes dangerous, when you're endangering other skaters, which I would say this is a dangerous situation, you're starting to work into yellow card territory.
Tries to go inside to out there. Well, he's showing off the muscles there, and I think that might have cushioned the blow a little bit. Jordan Pierre-Gilles, the other day, he crashed on his own and sort of patted himself on the forehead like, oops, I knew what I did wrong that time. There's not much he could do. Down to the ice.
After review, the decision is no penalty due to shared responsibility between skater number 8 for Belgium and skater number 7 from Canada.
And there you have it. Shared responsibility is the call. So Desmet will finish in 5th, Pierre-Gilles in 4th. And Donjanu and Jungsun Wu automatically qualifying, and Liu Shaolin, we'll see if that time holds up. It is slower than the first heat, so it is the one on the bubble. Shared responsibility, and so they go shoulder to shoulder there. It's just tight into the corner.
That is what has been decided.
And then it looked, well, it certainly was spectacular to watch. It's just nice to know that everybody's okay. In the end, we carry on. Heat number 3 has 2 Dutch Lions, including the only man to score an individual gold medal in Montreal who was not an ice maple, Jens van 't Wout. There's a teammate, Toon Boer. There's also Miata Shogo, Liu Shaoang, the other Liu brother, and Roberts Kruisbergs, always one to watch in this 1,000 meters of the Latvian Golden Stars.
Ready.
If it ever comes to like a 50-50 shoulder-to-shoulder collision like that, I pity the person who goes into Roberts Kruisbergs, because there was one of those, maybe 2 of those in Montreal, and each time he barely flinched while the competitor went off into the boards. Such a strong skater. But it is Jens van 't Wout. Maybe after seeing the last race going, I'm going to try to skate off into the sunset, try to keep up.
Smooth move by Kruisbergs up into 2nd position, and Jens van 't Wout using his track patterns here to defend going into the corner and accelerate on the exits.
Toon Boer in 4th after making the move there, keeping an eye, as always, on the hometown favorite, Liu Shaoang. Is there a time where he will go? The pace is high. Making a move will be a feat.
Progressively getting faster every lap for Jens van 't Wout, and now feeling some pressure from behind by the Chinese monk.
There is Liu Shaoang in 2nd right now. Down goes Miata, but all the while Jens van 't Wout still out in front. There is still 1 to go. Kruisberg has some work to do to try to close that gap. Liu eyeing the lead, perhaps, and it will be Jens van 't Wout bringing it all the way around to take the win. Liu in 2nd, and Roberts Kruisbergs in 3rd, 123.83. And if all of that holds, that would make it the 2nd faster 3rd place time.
So looking at the replay here, a smooth start. They line up just the same positions as they were on the line. Van 't Wout really controlling the pace here of the race from start to finish. And we're seeing a little track set up here by Kruisbergs. Oh, and there's the fall by Miata. Looks like maybe a collision with a block.
And there you go. On course, Jens van 't Wout. Gold medal this season. Looking to carry on his quest for another. And so, confirmed, van 't Wout and Liu 1 and 2. Kruisbergs with a 123.802. That means Liu Shaolin's time will not be enough, and that actually puts Kruisbergs as the faster of the 3rd place time. So now it's Niall Tracy on the bubble. Heat number 4 has 4 skaters in it. Kim Tai-sung, Sun Long, the man of the hour, Park Ji-won, the man of the last 2 seasons, already a win this weekend as well, and Thomas Natalini of the Gladiators. Natalini, his international success coming in relays, no individual medals just yet. So two White Tigers, a lung and a gladiator coming up.
Go to the start. Ready.
In this relatively newfound world of helmet designs, nice one for Sun Lung there with the dragon, or the lung, I guess you could say, on top. At the moment, it is Kim Tai-sung with Sun Long breaking up the White Tigers.
And you see Kim looking down between his legs as he shuffles in the straightaway. If I were him, I'd be looking for my teammate. Seeing my teammate in third, maybe it was going to change my strategy as opposed to if my teammate is in second.
So now Park can strike at just about any moment. Sun Long would have that endurance as the 1500-meter world champion. He's had a long weekend though, so big question, what's left in the legs? Showing no ill effects right now, trying to go around the outside, but not able to make it stick. Second time. Finally he does.
As he makes it to the front.
But now here comes Park. Is he saying enough is enough? Now Natalini saying, don't forget about me. He's trying to make a move on the outside. Shoulder to shoulder with Kim, and Park gets into the lead, and Natalini trying to get up there for second. He goes down, but Park over Sun Long in second place. And Kim Tai-sung, it will be reviewed. It was a 125.60 for third place, so even if that time does hold up, it would not be enough to move on. We will review that incident. Natalini was pushing late around the corner.
Sun working hard to get around the outside, swinging his arm, which helps with rhythm and foot speed, overtaking just barely.
Took several tries for him, and finally he just made it stick.
That's right, Kim not making it easy for him. That's good defense. Finally, Sun makes it up to the lead. As you see, we see blocks flying here as Natalini continues to carry his speed out wide. Excellent move up to the front by Park Ji-won.
And then as Natalini was pushing, that is what's being reviewed right there. He goes out wide, maybe a tiny bit of contact, but as we've seen, it just takes the littlest nudges sometimes.
And yet, as Natalini is the passing skater, he's the one who has responsibility for passing safely. That is one area of the sport where there is shared responsibility, but you have to get your waist beyond the skater's shoulders before the right-of-way is yours.
And no action taken, and so Park Ji-won, you hear the ovation, Sun Long going through. No action taken there. Natalini will be fourth, and so that is the quarterfinal for the men's 1,000 meters. And that means time to head back into our finals. You see who's moving on to the semis. We will see that coming up after one of our ice breaks. This will take us into a break. The women's 1,500 meter B and A finals. There will be the medal presentations, and then they will redo the whole track. And so in the women's 1,500 meters, of course, we don't have to worry about qualifying times and who moves on. This is it. And for a lot of women, this will actually be their last race. Could be the last race of the weekend for them. 3 Chinese lungs in the B final. Zheng Yizhe, Gong Li, and Zheng Chutang, pardon me. Choi Min-jung and Shim Suk-hee for the White Tigers. Danae Blais of the Ice Maples, and Zoe Deltrap of the Lions. You see with a team of 3 and a team of 2.
It will be interesting to see if the skaters of the same team skate together or if they're able to stay spread out in the pack.
Position number 2 from China, Gong Li. Position number 3 from Republic of Korea, Choi Min-jung. Position number 5 from China, Zhang Chuhong. Position number 6 from Canada, Diana Price. Position number 7 from Netherlands, Zoe Deltrack.
Go to the start. Ready.
Since there's no time to worry about, it's all between the skaters on the ice. And Catherine, you saw some of the rankings there. Some of them are quite up there in the Crystal Globe standings, and you still want to maximize how many points you get.
That's right. It is helpful to think, however, that every athlete's different. Some athletes like to know the points going into the race. I was always of the mindset of, it's not like I'm going to try harder or less hard based on how many points there are at stake. I'm going to do my best no matter what. In this instance, what's best for every athlete is to keep this pace nice and slow. Even though we do have endurance skaters in Choi Min-jung and Shin Soo-ki, they're also choosing to keep it slow, which means they're giving the sprinters the advantage.
And I guess racer's going to race, so it doesn't matter what race you win, you're always going to want to win.
There are athletes who thrive off of knowing the points and they use it to motivate themselves. There are other athletes who find that all that does is add pressure, puts them in their head, makes them anxious. So to each their own.
It is Gong Li on the front right now, being joined by Zhang Chutong and Danae Blay. Not liking what she saw, seeing two teammates at the front, setting up a bit of a block, and so she gets to the front. But now things starting to move. It's Deltrap entering the fray.
And now we're starting to see everyone getting a little antsy, wanting to move up in the pack.
It's the one splash of orange in an otherwise sea of red, black, white, and blue. It's Deltrap sitting at the second now. Now Danae Blay making the move. Still is Zhang Chutong on the front.
Oh, Deltrap getting a little lucky there. She's staying on the inside track, being overtaken. No contact, fortunately. And Danae Blay makes a smooth move up to the front. That's what it's supposed to look like, especially if you're trying to make a late out of the corner pass like that. There shouldn't be any question whether or not you're even or by. You should finish your pass going into the corner without putting other skaters at risk.
It's Danae Blay, followed by a triumvirate of lungs behind her. And that is broken up with Gong Li now on the front. The two white tigers just stalking the back there. We'll see if there's a late move coming. There is something maybe attempted now. They're just running out of ice. It is still Gong Li in front. Danae Blay holding on. Deltrap back up into third. Here comes a move around the outside. It's Gong Li trying to hold them off. She does to take the B final. It was Choi Min-jung getting all the way up into second.
Looking at the replay here, see this quick little sprint coming out of the corner. There's no question if her shoulders or her waist are in the right place. She finishes the pass. That's excellent skating. Too wide coming into this corner, but too wide over two teammates. So very unlikely for contact to be caused between two teammates. It's just silly skating, bad strategy when that happens. Another beautiful tuck into first, exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Nothing really getting reviewed there. They are photo finishing. It was close. Let's see the photo there. It is Gong Li taking it, and Danae Blay, and then Choi Min-jung, Zoe Deltrap there in fourth, and that is the B final. Of course, the B just warms us all up for the letter A and the race for the medals coming up. And Yeah, it is loaded. Traffic comes up. We'll see how they all got there, but just, you'll see them introduced. You know all of them already. And this is one that has seen a lot of the biggest names coming through to create a grandstand final.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's women's 1500 meters final A. Let's welcome the skaters. 女士们、先生们，即将进行的是女子1500米决赛，让我们欢迎运动员入场。Position number 1， 1号位 USA Eagles 来自美国 Kristen Santos。Position number 2， 2号位 Canadian Ice Makers 来自加拿大 Courtney Sorrow。Position number 3， 3号位 Japanese Ninja 来自日本 Lina Yamada。Position number 4， 4号位 Korean White Tigers 来自韩国 Denis Nikisha。Position number 5， 5号位 Belgian Iceman 来自比利时 Hannah Desmond。Position number 6， 6号位 Dutch Lions 来自荷兰 Sandra Balseboa。Position number 7， 7号位 USA Eagles 来自美国 Corinne Stoddard。
And there we go, 2 USA Eagles, an ice maple, a ninja, a white tiger, an ice bear, and a lion. A high five there from the US teammates. Stoddard lines up on the second row though, but a ton of talent in this field.
Go to the start. Ready.
Good luck handicapping this one. And the two winners from the two 1500s in Montreal. Anna Desmet and Kim Gee-lee. The current Crystal Globe holder, also Kim Gee-lee. Sandra Velzebor. And those two American Eagles. And of course, Courtney Sorrow making the return.
And Hannah Desmet building on the outside. She's ready to get to the front. We'll see if she pushes the pace or slows it back down.
And Sandra Velzebor trying to get to the front. Wonder with her knowing her top end speed if she's going to try to slow it down and wait for her moment to burst.
This is the moment to burst. I'm waiting for it to come from the middle or back of the pack.
And it's Desmet and Stoddard getting to the front. And Gee-lee sneaks up into third. Santos Griswold trying to follow her. Griswold just jumps 2 spots, and it's USA Eagles 2 and 3.
Again, it's time for a move. Watching that power move coming from Courtney Sorrow.
Thoreau trying to go all the way around from fourth right up into first. We see 7 to go.
Kim Gill-Lee coming up to the front. It's good timing, around 7 to go. We're coming on 6 to go. The pace will be picking up.
And it is Kim driving things at the front. It's all strung out now. The tempo keeps ratcheting up. Still Kim, still Thoreau, still Desmet, but still not done yet. Stoddard taking a look.
My eyes are on Kristen Santos Griswold. She's skating patient. That is something she's been practicing. Here she starts to step out. She needs to build the speed. Hannah Desmet beats her to it.
Desmet going out wide. Stoddard going on the inside. Makes it stick for second behind Kim. Now Santos Griswold goes, slotting up into third. It is Kim at the bell. Velzebor coming. Santos Griswold also going. Stoddard up the inside. Can Corinne Stoddard go from bronze to gold? Inside the final meters, Corinne Stoddard, USA 1 and 2.
Wow, fantastic result for the USA Eagles. You know, and I don't have a researcher on this trip, but I'm going to make a strong statement. I think that's her first World Tour gold.
I would not put it past. We'll dive in with what resources that we have, but Corinne Stoddard leaving it late, think a very tight move and slotted in and just kept it going. I think Kristen Santos Griswold made it for second. They are listing it as a photo.
A little bump there between the two Eagles, both trying to make the same move at the same time, but they're teammates. They know how each other skates. And Santos Griswold doing the veteran thing on the outside, not forcing a move, building speed, diving at the line.
Tied for third yesterday in the women's 1,000 meters. Makes no doubt about that one. There you have it. Stoddard, Santos Griswold, and Kim. Nothing is getting reviewed.
She's clearly happy with that result.
What a moment for the skater from the Pacific Northwest of the United States, what's become quite the hotbed of American short track talent. There you see it. Stoddard for gold, Santos Griswold for silver, and Kim for bronze. For Santos Griswold, her third silver medal on the season. She picked up one in 1,000 and a 500 on the first weekend in Montreal. Sort of joking that she crashed out of most races in Montreal and certainly rebounding in a big way here.
That's very true, and what Kristen Santos Griswold does well is that she uses these World Tour stops as an opportunity to learn. She and Coach Steve Goff have this great camaraderie where they say, hey, how can we make this fun? How can we make this a challenge? She does not race in the ways that she feels comfortable and safe. She races in the ways that she knows will make her better and more ready for the next Olympics.
And handshakes all around. Looks like we are just about ready to go to throw it down to the ice for the medal presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the women's 1,500 meters at the ISU Short Track World Tour Beijing, China, 2024 to 2025. 女士们、先生们，2024至2025赛季国际滑轮短道速滑世界巡回赛北京站女子1000百米颁奖仪式现在开始。Medals will be presented by the chief referee, Mr. Balazs Pavel. Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists， 女士们、先生们，再次把掌声送给获奖运动员。
USA Eagles go 1-2 ahead of Kim Gee-lee, and there is the updated Crystal Globe standing. Sandra Velzebor leading the way. She did come fourth, but look at everything closing up inside of, well, let's say 60 points right now, with Stoddart not far behind. Kim in fourth, or Stoddart in third rather, and then Kristen Santos-Griswold also there. So lots to play for over the rest of this season, starting next weekend in Seoul.
And the boat's being rocked a little bit here because Kristen Santos-Griswold is well known as the stronger of the two Americans, but here we do see Corinne Stoddard bumping up into third in the Crystal Globe standings. A tremendous result. Both of these girls are friends. They're strong teammates. They push each other. They love each other, and I'm sure they're proud of each other regardless of the result.
So, if I am not mistaken, yes, the ice resurfacer is coming back out. That heads us into our next ice break. We'll be back for the 1,000-meter men's semifinals. There'll also be the women's 500-meter quarters. That is in about 17 minutes time. So wherever you may be around the world, don't go anywhere. Now, the Kazakh Nomads are one of the bigger squads on the tour. They send big teams to every single international event, but they're really just starting to write their own history. Case in point, Denis Nikisha picking up the country's first ever World Championship medal last spring in Rotterdam. Let's get to know some of the Kazakh Nomads.
I'm Denis Nikisha, the short track speed skater from Kazakhstan.
Hi, I'm Tikhonova Olga from Kazakh Nomads team. When I was young, I always watched the Olympic Games and I want to be there. After I go with my parents to ice rink in my city, and there told me about short track.
High speed.
I think it's dangerous, it's speed, you can pass, you can win. Victor An, he's so amazing skater.
My skating hero is me. Me.
Rihanna Khan, She's my roommate, teammate, and friend. She is funny. She good cooking Korean food. I like interior design, not like work. It's just my hobby.
Just chilling and music.
Oh my God, I listen old music, old and new and pops and R&B and rap, everything.
Oh, I have a lot of Kazakh rappers, hip hop.
Have Kazakh food. It's name of beshbarmak. It's so delicious.
Hamburger.
I like biathlon and figure skating and long track because I try long track competition.
Track and field, 100 meters. They're so fast.
I think it's Olympic Games because it's was first time. I think it's special competition for all athletes.
When I won the World Cup in Almaty, I proposed to my wife. She wasn't ready for it because she thinks like I'm not doing in that time, like in Almaty after the race. So she wasn't ready.
Every race of short track tells its own different story. There's different tactics, different strategies. There's a lot to analyze. And for that, let's send it down to the ice with Catherine Reuter-Adamek.
Today we're going to talk about how an athlete can speed up throughout a race. Everything from a slow start in a 1500 to top speed at the end of a 500 has a lot to do with an athlete's technique. So for example, an athlete might press their knees over their toes. They might press their hips down towards their heels. They might even take their chest and press it down towards their thighs to help increase the pressure into the ice and also the speed around the track. You'll also see during these races, athletes might lean just a little bit with their hips on a slow speed, a little bit more as they speed up, and at top speed you see the full compression, the full lean angle through the hips, and you usually see an athlete put that hand down on the ice in what's called a pivot. When you see athletes race, especially in like a 1500 where the pace starts a little slower, you often see that everyone's kind of upright. Not standing straight up, but just more in just an athletic position as opposed to a full skater crouch. Now, the reason for that is because it takes less energy to be higher up. It takes more energy to compress through the joints. And so when you see athletes speed up, they compress in 3 different ways. We want to compress through the ankle angle, driving the knees over the toes. We want to compress at the knee level, dropping the hips down. And we want to compress at the hip level, bringing the shoulders down as well. So typically by the time an athlete's going full speed at the end of the race, they're fully compressed, chest down to thighs, to the point where your fingers could touch the ice. That's how low these athletes are skating for the entirety of a race. All right, so if I'm starting in a 1500, I'm not going super fast. I'm also not way down into position yet. Now, part of that's because I'm conserving energy, but another part of that is that I don't need top speed yet, so I can be in a looser, higher position. But as the race goes on, I'm gonna naturally start to get my hips a little lower, put a little more bend down in my knees, and press my knees over my toes. That increases my ankle angle. That's one of the easiest ways to increase speed out here on the ice. But the best skaters, they keep getting lower and lower with their hips. And that creates power into the ice. And so you'll notice some athletes, they use their foot speed as they're going around the turns. Some athletes sink into their hips and they use their power to go around the turns. Both options are effective. Using power from your hips is a little more efficient. And that's why we see those more efficient athletes usually have a little more energy in the tank on the last lap of the race. Along with getting lower and compressing through the joints to speed up, you'll also notice athletes, they change how hard they're leaning around the track. So even though we're always on the same 111 meter track, if an athlete's going relatively slow, they might only need to lean about this much. But as the pace picks up, we press those joint angles down into the ice, and we take the hip on the opposite side and we lean the hip into the turn. So a medium speed might look about like this.
this, but again, as the speed picks up, as that crouch lowers down, we also can increase the lean angle like this for a top speed event. Okay, so now we'll talk about lean angle. So again, when I'm not going super fast, I don't have to lean really hard into my turns. But as the pace picks up, not only am I compressing down into my skating position, I'm doing what's called a lean angle here with my hip. So as I keep my left hip into the corner, I can continue to press down through the shoulders, and I haven't picked up my foot speed. I've just changed my angle to the ice, which is automatically giving me more speed, more efficiency, more power, and more control with each stride. So there you have it. Some tips and tricks to watch your favorite skaters race.
Always nice to learn the ins and outs of what is a pretty complicated sport when it all comes down to it. But now let's get back to the action.
进行的比赛是男子1000米半决赛。Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the skaters for Q1 men's 1000 meters semifinals. Felix Roussel, Canada. Liu Shaoang, China.
All right, getting right back into the mix. This next block, 2 semifinals in the men's 1000 meters. You see heat number 1, Sun Long and Liu Shaoang trying to replicate or maybe improve on yesterday's first and third in the 500 meters, maybe trying to go 1 and 2, but first they have to get through the semis. No small feat with Felix Roussel, Roberts Kreuzbergs, and oh yeah, Park Ji-won.
Well, let's not forget Park Ji-won, just the first and only so far Crystal Globe winner from last season's World Tour.
And there is the man of the hour, Sun Long. Gold and a bronze yesterday. It was Felix Roussel looking in pretty good form this weekend as well. He was already in 1A final but crashed out, and he looked very good as well, and then can never count out that man, Roberts Kreuzbergs, returning to the podium after a year away from it earlier this season.
Go to the start. Ready.
Top 2 from each semi move on, and a maximum of 1 third place skater. And it is Roussel finding some comfort at the front. Liu Shaoang following him, and Kreuzbergs taking a look around, but you can never look that far. Look who's in 4th and 5th. Big names.
That's right, and remember, Roussel led his entire previous round, the entire quarter from start to finish. He never looked like he was getting tired. Let's see if he can repeat that strategy here in the semifinal race.
Park Ji-won up into 3rd. Kreuzbergs and Sun in now 4th and 5th. Really getting wound up into 5 to go.
And here's the acceleration coming from Park Ji-won on the outside. He's got such quick feet.
Can he make it all the way around? Not quite. Trying to get around Liu, does it there. Kreuzbergs trying to follow in his wake. He can make that one stick.
Excellent tucking in there by, oh, it doesn't last by Kreuzbergs.
And Liu comes right back.
Park Ji-won in a really safe space, and you see again that gap. When a skater is leaving a gap, that means they're wanting to accelerate or potentially close the gap if they're defending a pass.
Roussel still managing to hang on. Is there another twist in the tail? They're coming. Here comes Sun Long into 3rd. Park Ji-won not going to risk it. It is Felix Roussel, wire to wire. Another impressive performance by that man right there.
Extremely impressive and good strategy by Park Ji-won, tucking into 2nd. Remember, leading does take more energy than following. And if you're a good defensive skater, 2nd place is a great spot. You don't have to work hard to manage the pace from the front. All your focus goes on defending the skaters behind. And it becomes a synergistic back and forth where the leader gets to focus on pace, the follower gets to focus on defense. Chinese Long Shaoang trying to make a move.
Sun Long coming back late to get up into 3rd.
Happy Ice Maples coach there.
The universal sign of good job, the happy fist pump.
It is a universal sign, isn't it?
It really is. There you go, confirmed. Now Sun Long's 124.116. We'll have to watch that in the next heat, provided everybody gets through unscathed. Heat number 2, Jens van 't Wout, certainly the one to watch here, but oh, maybe not. William Donjanu also right there. Michał Niewinski to make it interesting as well, and never mind Jung Sun Woo and Niall Tracy. So a whole lot of heavy hitters once again in this semifinal.
Danjanu having an impressive World Tour season so far. Jens van 't Wout also having some success in this distance in Montreal and a successful weekend. He is looking sharp.
Go to the start. Ready.
On the day, Jens van 't Wout. Oh, and there is a spill off the start. Little collision that will bring them all back to the line. I was just going to say, on the day, Jens van 't Wout won gold in Montreal in the 1,000 meters. Michał Nowinski was third, and he was probably the happiest guy on the ice. He was giving high fives to the track stewards and just enjoying that moment for a guy who you would maybe have thought, hey, you're a 500-meter guy. Well, he said, not anymore. There's a look back at the incident.
Looks like they just get tangled up in their own feet. And it is always fun when athletes share that sense of excitement, even with the track stewards and even the officials. I can speak as an athlete, and sometimes you get so wrapped up in feeling proud of yourself and sharing the excitement with your team that it's easy to forget the dozens and dozens of people that are volunteering their time to make these events possible.
It's always true. There's always the people who are out here just because they enjoy helping out. And they make pretty much any big event go. And it is Nowinski still on the boards. Tracy also had his blades tightened back up again. And the whistle. We go back to the start line. Once again, a lion, an ice maple, a hussar, a white tiger, and a royal.
Go to the start. Ready.
This time everybody gets through. Tracy coming out of position 5, jumps all the way up into 3rd. And now into 2nd. Nope, maybe not.
Danjanu throwing some extra straightaway strokes in. Needing to scrub his speed, but at least he tucks into qualifying position. Niall Tracy clearly upset.
And he pointed, and they are bringing this one back.
Interesting. We'll see. It potentially could be something with blades.
We'll take a look.
Yeah, he's looking.
Interesting, something we've never seen before. So Tracy did look down at his skates and pointed, so now everybody's getting things looked at now.
You know what might be, I truly don't know. I truly don't know what this could be. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Everyone going in for a blade tech check, and they might be, they're checking the edges. It does happen occasionally. Someone will lose a bolt, but man, that's not normal. He may just have been requesting an equipment break. A bit unprecedented. I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, interesting. A bit of a mystery we have here on our hands.
Richard Shoebridge managing the pit stop for Niall Tracy. He's been in Great Britain about 6 years now. Originally from Canada and competing himself for the team Great Britain. Dual citizenship on one of his parents' side.
That British side trading up in Nottingham. So we have 1, 2, 3 skaters on the ice. Still Danjanu and Tracy getting looked at. So I guess it was Danjanu from, if we were to put on our sleuthing skills, maybe we shouldn't, but he was pointing forward, and so it was either Danjanu or van 't Wout that Tracy was pointing at, and they're doing the full blade change here now.
And so if you have a chunk of blade missing out of your steel, that is considered too dangerous to race with. And that's really the only thing that I can personally think of that's happening now, is that there was a click of blades that I missed, and that the damage was so significant that it was worthy of a restart. Again, though, I truly have not seen this.
You have pointed out how thin those blades are, and so they go clacking in together. Yes, that was always the risk. From your deductions, I have no reason to argue that, considering they're doing full blade changes.
They are doing full blade changes, and I'll tell you what, every pair of blades costs gosh darn close to $1,000 US. So every time they're changing out their equipment, there is definitely an investment that goes into ensuring you've got the right blades on your feet.
So, whistle back. We're all good to go here now. Everybody back on the line. And this is the third attempt at this, too.
Go to the start. Ready.
All the blades survived the first time around the corner. All the skaters are still on their feet. Van Aert Wout, Donjanu, Nivinsky, Tracy, and Jungsun Wu.
Donjanu leaving a little room there in second before closing it up. I wonder how he's feeling on those brand new blades.
Jung getting up into fourth. He was runner-up to Donjanu on week number 2 in Montreal in the 1,000 meters.
And there's the move by Donjanu up into the lead. Whatever discomfort he was feeling seems to be past.
Nivinsky trying to stay alert to the danger. Usually when Donjanu goes to the front, that stays that way, but at the moment, inside 4 to go now.
Great deep track by Donjanu, and so if you're watching at home, look how he stays away from deer.
Van Aert Wout goes down.
Looks like he got tangled up with the block. So again, if you're watching Donjanu, look how he's far from the blocks going into the corner and tight to the blocks coming out. That's a defensive maneuver.
And yet both two skaters down. It's Nivinsky and Jung. They check how they're doing. They're both okay. So William Donjanu staying out of trouble at the front. He's being followed by Niall Tracy into the final lap. And there will be a few things reviewed now. But Donjanu goes first and Niall Tracy finishes in second.
And that is going to eliminate the opportunity for a fastest third from this event. We'll have to see if there's an advancement, which could eliminate the fastest third even from semifinal number 1.
That would be Sun Long, so it'd be disappointment for the home crowd, and so lots to look at here. We'll see at what point does Jens Van Aert Wout go down on this replay.
A really big step to the inside by Van Aert Wout, but Donjanu moving up to the front, not phased by the defensive tactic.
So this might be it. Van Aert Wout in fourth on his own.
Well, maybe that, yep, looks like it. I do see that block though, right? It's hard to say with these angles. Now remember, the officials have 6 different camera angles. They're seeing it every which way. We're just seeing the one. And here it looks like the ice just broke out.
Jung going in on Nivinsky.
White Korean just couldn't hold it. Sorry, White Tiger just couldn't hold it.
And I think even then, he might have also taken Donjanu's hand in the glasses as he was going down. They were knocked askew there, and obviously not Donjanu's fault, but lots to see, lots to determine.
And the waiting game begins for the athletes.
And so this is incident number 2, Jungsun Wu going in on Nivinsky.
The skaters are even going into the corner, shoulders and hips, so there is no clear right away. It's basically, yeah, a little skidding. He's trying to scrub his speed. We won't know the call until the officials make it official.
And that looks like that has been done, throwing it down to the ice.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 6 from Korea and advanced skater number 18 from Poland to final A.
And there you go. So Jungsun Wu penalized. Michał Nivinsky will go into the A final as he was in one of those positions to possibly move on. And so that does, as Catherine mentioned, take away that third place finish to Sun Long. And so he will have to race in the B final. This is the incident. This is the ruling lane change from inside to out.
So you see how the Korean White Tiger steps inside that red line and then out. That's what tells the officials that he's the one making the primary lateral movement, which he's causing the primary contact, which is why he's gotten the penalty.
So there you have it. That will be the A final. 2 Ice Maples, Park Ji-won, Niall Tracy, and Michał Niewinski, and there will be 4 skaters in the B final. And so now we pick things back up from the 1,000 to the 500 meters, the women's 500 quarterfinals. 4 heats, first and second place skaters from each race, and up to 2 of the fastest third place skaters. And so we have 4 skaters on the line.
Ready.
And so it is Ariana Fontana, who was on the start list, and they didn't quite make it around. They might have gotten through, but they decided to bring that one back. So Ariana Fontana, just as she was in the 1,500 meters, not towing the line in the 500. Also, keep a note, heat number 4 would have had 5 skaters, but Wang Ye, the Chinese lung yesterday, was injured in a collision in the women's relay, and so she is now more focused on recovery and obviously will not be on this start line in the women's 500. So the 4 here are going to retake. Sandra Velsboer, Wang Xinran, Hannah Desmet, and Choi Min-jong.
Go to the start. Ready.
And it is, as she so often does, Sandra Velsboer off into the lead, and it's usually more than enough. Wang Xinran trying to maintain contact. Choi Min-jong closing up into 3rd, and Hannah Desmet in 4th.
Keep your eyes on Choi Min-jong in 3rd. She does not have the fastest start, but she does have the fastest finish. Here she comes, setting up on the outside.
Trying to get around Wang Xinran, setting up maybe inside. Nope, not there. It is still Sandra Velsboer coming around at the bell, and the battle is on for 2nd. And Desmet goes up the inside into 2nd.
Chinese Longs having impeccable defense.
And it is Velsboer 1, Hannah Desmet 2nd, and Choi Min-jong does manage to hang on for 3rd.
A surprising result, and I'll say, well, we'll start here from the beginning. A powerful start. We line up more or less actually in exactly the same position from lanes. And then watching Hannah Desmet move up the inside, the Chinese Long spending too much time defending against Choi Min-jong, leaving the inside door wide open, and Hannah Desmet passing up a clean pass, or setting up a clean pass.
And she got right through in there. There was the slightest of knocks, but as it happened, she was already well through, and just the littlest bit of contact.
And we talk often about patience, and that's what it means to be patient, to watch something unfolding in front of you. Instead of sticking yourself in the middle, let it play out and then respond. Oh dear, she's upset or hurt.
Obviously hope she's okay. We can only theorize.
Gosh, something's going on down there, folks. Not sure what.
Alrighty, there you go. And you saw the DNS for Ariana Fontana. Hope everything's okay with Sandra Velsboer, and we can see her back in the semis. She looked fine on the ice anyway. On to heat number 2. Ricky Doak, the Ice Maple Fan Keshin of the Lungs. Kristen Santos Griswold back for more. Michelle Velsboer and Nicola Mazur.
Ready.
Mazur came through the repechage this morning, so she has some races under, and right away she gets up into 3rd with Doak out in front and Fen, but here comes Santos Griswold. Nice inside move.
That is a nice inside move, and early. We don't typically see passes like that in the first lap and a half of the 500. There's still plenty of time.
It is still Doak in front. Santos Griswold into 2nd. That forced Fan out wide. That will get looked at, but at the moment it is Doak, Kristen Santos Griswold, and Michelle Velsboer now closing up along with Nicola Mazur, trying to make a move for 3rd. Not going to have it. Doak and Santos Griswold go 1-2, but a There'll be a few things to look at anyway. At least one. There's one done on the screen.
Sometimes in the 500 meter, there isn't even time to think. And you can see here, Kristen Santos Griswold's not well known for her start. She does a great job tucking in to third place right away, not really fighting, just looking for that efficient move. A really smooth move up here. We will see what the officials decide, if that is a late inside move by Kristen Santos Griswold, or maybe an outside to in from Fan Kashin.
It is the North Americans crossing 1 and 2. Michelle Velzborg getting up to third. Her time, 43.012, so that would hold as the fastest of the third place times right now. Still 2 heats to go, and yeah, everything is confirmed. No penalty handed out. Michelle Velzborg does, in fact, finish third. Santos Griswold second, Ricky Doe first. And now right back out, heat number 3. Kim Lee, Florence Brunel, Kamila Stormovska, Chiara Betty, and Natalia Malashevska.
Go to the start. Ready.
And right off the gun, it's Brunel jumping to the lead. And she has Stormovska right behind her. And some work to do for Kim Lee.
Similar to Choi Min-jung, Kim Lee will have a strong finish, but I don't know if she'll close this gap. Similar to what we saw yesterday with Steven Dubois. If she does close that gap, she's going to have to time it immediately into a pass.
It's running out of time. The next time around, they will get the bell. Stormovska goes down. It is still the Ice Maple. Florence Brunel ahead of Natalia, pardon me, that was Stormovska in second. Malashevska was the one who went down, and Kim Lee in third with a 42.97 unofficially. If that holds, that still would be the fastest third place time. But it is Stormovska keeping up with Brunel, nicely, potentially moving on. I don't think anything's getting reviewed. It was Malashevska maybe going down on her own.
An impressive start by Florence Brunel, and an impressive finish, leading the entire race.
Nod of approval from the head coach. I think he just said, nice.
Marc Gagnon, a 5-time world champion. He certainly knows what a nice race looks like.
And that is confirmed. Brunel through, Stormovska through as well. Kim to third. And that knocks Choi Min-jung's third place time out of the running. With 1 heat still to go, Kim might be feeling pretty confident about her chances. 4 skaters on the line, as I mentioned, with Wang Ye unable to make the start. It will be Kim Boutin, the world champion. Corin Stoddart, who just is flying high at the moment, with the gold in the 1500, Shim Soo-ki and Yana Khan of the Kazakh Nomads.
Corin Stoddart getting a good opportunity here to practice internationally. What you have to do, even after a positive result, take a deep breath, shake it off. Back to neutral. This is a new race, fresh start.
Skater, skater, skate, skate.
Being told to step back for a moment. He's getting sorted out. And Stoddart, if there is anything when we see her on the ice, she has an incredible focused face when she steps on the ice. She always means business. We did see the smile after the medal, but that was a special occasion. Now she goes back to work.
Go to the start. Ready.
And everybody's through, and Boutin, another elite top starter, showing her prowess there, off and away. Stoddart now has to chase.
Stoddard's in a tough place because she needs to skate a wide track to close the gap on Bhutan. She needs to skate a tight track to keep the door closed on Shim.
We do remind you, top two from each moving on. There is that chance for a third place time as well. But Stoddard now is starting to close. Perhaps some of that endurance coming into play with Bhutan.
She could set up a pass here.
Is she going to take a look? Maybe she's going to just let her know that she's there at the line. Stoddard is going to make it close, but Bhutan just hang on. But Stoddard did get close to say maybe, hey, I'll see you soon.
That's right, and even though that pass maybe didn't work, you can bet that it's all just deposits in the bank. Learning, where do I need to time this right landing, extend this left push, so that every time these skaters are racing, they're becoming more prepared, like they're sharpening their own stone for next time.
Stoddard did really close it up. Just hanging on.
See how she crosses over through the corner? A true power move. Shows me she's comfortable on this ice. No fear of the ice breaking out. She did mention to me the other day, the ice is very grippy here, so it's helpful to keep on moving your feet.
So, one Stoddard there. Keeping on, looking to add to her medal tally for the weekend. Had back-to-back, or she's had a couple stops. The first two stops in Montreal landing on the podium multiple times. She's done that here in China as well. And there you have it, Shim's time, 42.817. One of the two third fastest times. She'll be joined by her teammate Kim Gi-lee. There you see as the other qualifier with the fastest two third place times. Now time for the B final for the men's 1,000 meters. From the looks of things, there may just only be 3 skaters on the line. I do not see Sun Long. And we will throw it down for introductions.
Introducing the skaters. Position number 1 from Latvia, Rubers Kruzbergs. Position number 2 from China, Liu Shaoang. Position number 3 from Netherlands, Jens Verpoel.
So it is just 3 in the B final for the 1,000 meters, and not the briskest of starts, but you know these things really do ramp up. Plenty of space on the ice with 3 skaters.
And seeing as this is the last individual race for the men's, we could potentially be seeing some energy being saved for the relay final coming up. But again, there's no fastest time component here, and this is when a speed skater truly gets to race. They're not under pressure to go fast, and we see the smartest athletes excelling under these conditions.
It is Kruzbergs leading Lou at the moment. Jens van het leaving a bit of a gap, but as Cal likes to say, that's not a bad thing.
It's a good thing. He's being smart, he's skating wide, he's saving energy. Now look, he has all this speed that they couldn't hear. They didn't know he was coming because he had left that gap. It's a tremendous strategy.
Now they have to chase. Now there is a gap, but Jens van het Wout is probably close to top speed right now, and Liu is deciding to pull the chute. He might be back for the men's relay. Kruzbergs, his team did not advance. He doesn't have to worry about it, so he can chase the B final glory here. But Jens van het Wout out in front right now, hanging on. Kruzbergs is making it close. Not going to do it if Jens van het Wout has anything to say about it. No, he's done. And it is Jens van het Wout, Roberts Kruzbergs, and cruising his way over the line is Liu Shaoang.
An interesting strategy, not the most exciting of races. However, these athletes are still picking up points towards their overall Crystal Globe standing, Jens Van Twout is in 5th place, so he needed those winning points to set himself up for future success in the World Tour season.
You pretty much predicted it there. You saw him picking it up. You said he's gaining speed, and he did that. And then they were already behind him, and he was already at top speed, and they were suddenly having to chase, and that was really all she wrote.
And it's an advantage you mostly only get when you're in the back of the pack. Occasionally it works from the middle of the pack, but that is only if you are really certain that no one behind you is setting up a pass. Remember, the first name of the game is defense. You have to shut down moves from opposing skaters, and then once you've maintained your position, then you can go on offense, trying to build speed, moving up in rank.
As we see the ladder, that means one thing is up next, the A final, and we will have their introductions when the lights go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the 1,000 meters final A. Let's welcome the skaters. 女士姐妹们，即将进行的是男子1000米决赛，让我们欢迎运动员入场。Position 1， 1号位 Canadian Ice Papers， 来自加拿大 Felix Russo。Position number 2， 2号位 Korean White Tigers， 来自韩国 Park Ji-woo。Position number 3， 3号位 Canadian Ice Papers， 来自加拿大 William 电锯路。Position number 4， 4号位 British Warriors， 来自英国 Neil Tracy。Position number 5， 5号位 Polish Reserves， 来自波兰 Michał Niemiecki。
Really have it any other way, would you? The current Crystal Globe leader, the current 2nd place in the Crystal Globe standings, and also the only man who has ever won it, being Park Ji-won. And so the latest installment of the Battle of Dongjanu and Park. And then, of course, other skaters who could pull a surprise or shake things up. We never know, but here we go.
Go to the start. Ready.
And Park, he had Dongjanu next to him, decided to, nope, you go, I'll catch up.
All right, and here's something interesting to watch out for. Felix Roussel has led start to finish in a couple of races now, clearly showing off his fitness. William Dongjanu is an incredible tactical skater. He's leaving that space for 2 reasons. He can close the gap into a pass. He could also close the gap into a defensive block. And he doesn't need to yet, but see how he just got closer right there? He took the space away from Park Ji-won just in case he thought he might sneak into 2nd.
Now Dongjanu jumps to the lead. Nivinsky trying to get around the outside. Park is in 3rd, now into 2nd ahead of Roussel. And now the top 2 are right with each other. There is a lot of jockeying in behind. Nivinsky bumps Park a little bit.
Felix Roussel doing a tremendous job staying in the top 3, responding well to all of the jockeying for position.
And now Park for the lead. Can he make it stick? Dongjanu battles back. They both fall. Donjanu, though, stays on his feet. I called it too soon. It's Roussel, it's Nivinsky, it's Tracy, it's Felix Roussel right now coming up to the bell. It is the ice maple, but not the one we're used to hearing. Felix Roussel trying to hang on. Nivinsky in second. Niall Tracy gets on for third. And we wait and see what the ruling might be there. But Roussel, I think, could be confident in a win.
And I do believe that that is the first World Tour gold medal for Felix Roussel. What an impressive day. Every time he's been on the ice, I've made the comment, wow, he's really leading a lot. And his fitness is shining through, so ready for this competition.
This is the incident.
So he's
Oh,
trying...
no, it's not, actually. That's when he took the lead.
That was a nice tuck in by Park Ji-won. Here's what happens. Park keeps his hand on the ice just a touch longer than normal. Felix runs into him with his feet. They both lean back onto their heels, and it's only Donjanu who can save it.
You mentioned Donjanu, how many times he maintains his balance in falling situations. He did there. They are taking a look at that incident.
Oh, you think they're happy with that?
And joining.
Even Jordan Pierre-Gilles coming up from behind after a disappointing result, still sharing the love, showing the encouragement to his teammate.
That would mean Stephen Dubois, Jordan Pierre-Gilles, William Donjanu, and Felix Roussel all with individual medals.
Oh my goodness, and Danae Blay also getting her first World Tour gold here this weekend. It's shaping up to be a nice stop on the circuit for the Canadian Ice Maples.
Here's the incident.
So he skates up, he's doing the right thing, he's coming up on the inside lane. Park is still recovering from the previous pass, so watch here, he makes it, that's nice. His hand stays on the ice. He's feeling wobbly, you can see it in his skates. Donjanu just skating a normal tight track, but runs into Park's hand. Then they click blades. Okay, and watch, look, his knee angle is below 90 degrees. He just did a pistol squat on his left leg, bounced up out of it, and stayed in the race, even if he didn't get a medal.
So Park is off the ice. Here we go.
After review, we give penalty to skater number 1 from Korea.
And there you go. It is Park penalized. That means Donjanu is not going to be advanced at all. The podium remains the same. And so, Felix Roussel first, Michał Nivinsky his second individual medal on World Tour, and Niall Tracy, the British Royal, with their first ever medal on this new World Tour format. And here is the incident. Arm block they're calling there. You mentioned he left it there too long.
Yeah, and just my eye, I don't see him intentionally using an arm block, but they rarely are ever intentional. He had just finished a tight, high-speed pass under pressure. You can see how his weight was shifting on his blades, how the weight was coming in and out of his left hand on the ice. He wasn't recovered yet from the pass, which caused him to make a mistake.
And we'll throw down for the medal ceremony.
Medals will be presented by the assistant referee Ian Griffin. 为获奖运动员颁奖的是副裁判长阿兰·格里菲斯海姆。In third place and winner of the bronze medal from the Great Britain, representing the British Royals, Niall Tracy. 获得铜牌的是来自英国的亚尔特雷西。Niall Tracy. In second place and winner of the silver medal from Poland, representing Polish Hussars, Michał Nivinsky. 获得银牌的是来自波兰的米哈尔·叶布斯基。 first place and winner of the gold medal from Canada, representing Canadian Ice Papers, Felix Russell. 获得金牌的是来自加拿大的菲利克斯·罗塞尔。 Felix Russell. Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists. 女士们、先生们，让我们再一次把掌声送给获奖运动员。
An updated look at those Crystal Globe standings. 1 and 2. Isn't it fitting that the first two had a bit of a coming together there that affected things? Donjanu still a healthy enough lead, but Park Ji-won will be on home ice next month, or next week. Next week, I can confirm, next week in Seoul. I believe we're going to get the women's 500-meter semis done and dusted. Then they'll resurface for the women's 500 finals and the men's B and A relays to wrap things up from here in Beijing. Go. Brunel, Stoddart, Doak, Gili, and Desmet racing in the semifinal. Let's just see, first and second place skaters from each race, and up to one of the fastest third go on to the A final.
It will be important in these races for skaters to do their best to avoid contact, because there will be skaters relying on that fastest third, and any contact does open the door, the possibility for an advancement.
Ready.
A mad dash into the first corner, and it's the Ice Maples coming through 1 and 2. A dream start, as you can imagine, for them. Corinne Stoddart chasing in third. Kim Gili and Desmet with plenty of work to do.
Corinne closing the gap, and we've talked about this. You have to close the gap immediately into a pass. You can't hesitate.
See what Stoddart can do. She's right up there. Now she's making that move up the inside. The door is closed, though, for her. She can't make it. Now she has to regain speed. It is Brunel off the front. Doak defending in second. Gili trying to get up for third, but it is the Ice Maples. A dream result for them.
Excellent skating 1 and 2. Let's watch the replay. So the Ice Maples both overtaking Corinne Stoddart. Even though she's second on the line, she does end up third off the start. Hannah Desmet working her way on the outside. And a beautiful dive for the line. And remember, the finishing time from this round will determine the lane position in the next round. So a 42.73 for our winner, that will either get her a lane 1 if this is the faster of the 2 heats, or she may get bumped if heat 2 or semifinal 2 can post a faster time.
So looking at that third place time, 42.993 for Stoddard at the moment, and a pretty packed semifinal number 2 as well. Kamila Stormovska, Kim Boutin, Sandra Velzebor, Kristen Santos Griswold, and Shim Soo-ki. And if you're looking lanes 2 and 3, Boutin and Velzebor, 2 of the best starters in the world.
Remember, however, it is not how you start, it's how you finish. There's certainly an advantage to getting to the first block before the competitors in the 500, and oftentimes it is the endurance skater in the race who can sneak up and dive for the finish.
Doing some quick maintenance back there. You hear and see the fire extinguisher discharge. We've spoken quite a bit about high-tech equipment. Anyway, down to the race.
Ready.
And it is Boutin well off. Velzebor has to settle for third. Bit of unfamiliar territory for her.
Wow, good defensive move by Stormovska, even though it doesn't work.
And it is Boutin, Velzebor 1 and 2. And then Stormovska hanging on for third. Santos Griswold and Shim Soo-ki trying to close the gap there. Now Velzebor for the lead. Boutin can't hold it. Will she battle back?
And now Boutin can really maybe focus on defense here. She needs to keep that tight track. Kristen Santos Griswold tucking into third.
Nice work from her to avoid the danger. It's Velzebor leading, Boutin second, Santos Griswold in third. We will compare the times, a 42.94, and unofficially it is very, very close to her own teammate Corin Stoddart. So from the looks of things, we will have an eagle in the final, just which one. But Velzebor, unfamiliar territory, going out from position 3, starting in third place off the line.
And a click of the blades here, getting a little tangled in there. Oh my goodness, tangled up and a couple bumps before the Polish Hussar finally steps out and creates space for the Dutch Lion to move to the inside block.
And undaunted, Velzebor has kept it going and assumed her customary position on the front.
And a really nice inside move. They are responsible for getting back outside of the blocks after an inside pass. However, they have to be clear making the pass, no contact, in order to avoid an official review. She seems better than before, but her coach has checked on her 2 races in a row now, last time being a little emotional and concerned about a potential injury or maybe equipment.
Velzebor, Boutin, and Santos Griswold, 42.879, will go on to the A final. So 2 clean races in the semis. And so they will be back out in pretty short order. It is in about 16 minutes from now. There will be the B final, then the A final for the women's 500 meters, and then we go to the men's relay. There you see the starting list for the A and the B. One more pause coming up before we get back to those 500 meters for the most important races for them of the day. plenty of variety of races in short track, from the sprint to the endurance, from the individual to the team. But now we have the 500 meters. Let's hear from some of the athletes about that race.
The 500 meter is typically about 40 seconds, so it's an all-out sprint.
I need to start fast and see what I've got till the end.
For 500 meter, you need explosive start.
It's such a benefit to have that quick start.
It's it's aggressivity and patience.
500メートルのスタートでとても大事なのは、集中して最初の一歩目どれだけ周りの人より早く出るかと、最初のコーナーの半周がどれだけ速いかっていうところがとても大事だと思っています。
You just need to run away from the guys and just hope that they will not catch you at the end.
You want to try and get to the front as quick as possible because you don't have many corners.
我认为在500米比赛当中，起跑和前半圈起速是非常重要的。
If you don't have a good hard start, we say that you miss the boat, so you don't go with the top skaters and then you're gone.
When I'm second or third, I feel like for me it's just taking a gap, and I feel like I just need to be patient enough to see what line she's gonna take, and I take in the other one.
For me, I mostly like this last 2 laps because at this moment I can make some moves if I'm on the back and the guys in front already are tired.
Being able to have the power and technique to excel to like 8.0, which is a normal lap time leading on 500.
So nowadays we need to keep the trajectory, like sometimes block behind skaters, like tight or wide tight. So we need a lot of techniques and different trajectories to win the 500 meter.
Now, to the unpracticed eye, the 500 meters, Catherine, can be pretty chaotic. We always look at tactics in some of the longer races because it has time to play out, but it's not just chaos in the 500 meters on the ice. There is tactics involved.
There are absolutely tactics in a 500 meter. First of all, obviously you want to win the start. That's the best tactic to have. It takes somewhere between 1.5 to 2 laps for some athletes to build up to top speed. And then actually at the end of 4.5 laps, you'd be amazed where athletes are starting to get tired. So just because you win the start doesn't mean you'll have the fastest lap. Just because you have the fastest lap does not mean you'll be leading when it comes to the finish.
But you did mention getting into that first corner. So often we do see that's the case, that leads to success. Why is that often so important?
It's often important because when you win the start, you're not having to get wrapped up in other athletes. You're not having to set up passes. You're not having to manipulate your speed. You're just going fast. And that's why when you get out in front like that, all the athletes behind you, they may get tangled, they may slip, they may fall, but the leader doesn't have to waste energy on that. They can stay focused purely on their race, which is an advantage.
Now, we did mention the chaos in the 500 meters. Often officials are called into play with plenty of incidents. Let's hear about what the officials are looking for when they're reviewing incidents on the ice.
My name is Nathalie Lambert, and I'm the chair of the Short Track Technical Committee for the ISU. There are 2 priorities for the referee. One is safety, and the second one is fairness. Those are the 2 priorities, and they're non-negotiable. Short track is a contact sport. It's a small, minor contact sport, and there is a degree that is tolerated. But when it leads to falls or to the right of priority, then it can lead to a penalty. If you're a fan of Formula One, for example, you know that there are some things that the drivers can do and cannot do. It's the same in skating. So the skaters must behave in a way that will not impact the race of other skaters. In short track speed skating, the skater who will make a pass, the skater who will overtake, is responsible for the pass, unless the skater being overtaken behaves in an inappropriate way. So there's multiple things that can happen in short track. One of the most common one is what we are calling lane change, which means instead of just focusing for the first block, for the corner, a skater will do a lateral move, either from inside to out or outside to in, and if that skater is responsible for creating a contact, it can lead to a penalty, especially if the contact is impactful and it has consequences on the race.
After review, we give a penalty for number 13 from Poland.
So skaters should skate in a straight line and try to go for the corner close to the block without doing some lateral move. And then when we get really close to the corner, for the referee we're saying 3 meters before the corner, then there is a principle of priority. So the skater in the lead has priority. The principle of priority for us is at the end of the straight, the skater who would be in the lead has priority to the corner. What we mean by in the lead, it means, the shoulders, the hips, and the blades are in front of the other skater, which means the other one, he do need to abort the mission and step back, or is at a very high risk. If there is a contact, that skater will get a penalty. If they are level, they both have the right to the corner, so think of it as it's a 2-lane on the road with a white line in between. Versus if they're not level, it's a merge and the lead skater has priority. So that's kind of the easiest way to describe this. And if the inside skater doesn't give way, then that can lead to a penalty.
Now, in short track, incidents do happen, Catherine. You have a split second to make a decision on the ice. What goes through your head in the course of a race?
In the middle of the race, there is not a lot going through an athlete's head. It's truly relying on the racing, relying on the reps. Every athlete here has hundreds, if not thousands, of repetitions practicing an inside pass, a deep track, an acceleration on the outside. But that being said, when you put 5 or 6 athletes all together at that speed, under that amount of pressure, people make mistakes. It's not coming from a malicious place. It's coming from a desperate place. I want to do my best. I want to be in the best position. I want to be proud of this effort. And when you're riding that line, you're right on the edge. To your point, sometimes there's an incident. Sometimes athletes make mistakes. That's what makes the sport so fun to watch.
And one final round of races still to come from here in Beijing. Stay with us. That is the last of those fanfares. We have two 500 women's races to come, that being the B final and the A final. They'll do the medal presentations, and then I do not think they flood again. We go right into the men's relay, the B and A finals there.
Fortunately, since there's only two 500-meter races, there are 7 tracks out on the ice. So where they put the blocks down, underneath the block there is a dot that's been painted onto the ice. We'll have 2 500, so 2 tracks there, and then only 2 relay races. So everyone will get a fresh track, although that 5,000-meter A final will be seeing the greatest challenge.
It will serve one final bit of punishment to that ice, daring it to try to hold up. There's a look at Kim Gil-lee in the B final. Perhaps unaccustomed to being there. You did see the start list, so 2 White Tigers. There is Corinne Stoddard, already a very good day for her. And there's Kamila Stormovska of the Hussars and Hannah Desmet of the Ice Bears. Well, Stoddard, never mind just a good day. She's had a good start. She's right up there in the Crystal Globe standings.
She's had a great weekend so far, and you can imagine it's going to get better from here.
We'll throw down for the B final introductions.
Introducing the skaters. Position number 1 from USA, Corinne Stoddard. Position number 2 from Poland, Kamila Stormovska. Position number 3, Republic of Korea, Kim Gil-lee. Position number 4, from Belgium, Hannah Desmet. Position number 5, from Republic of Korea, Shin.
Go to the start. Ready.
There is a false start. We have not seen one at all this weekend.
And that means that after one false start, the entire field has been charged with that false start. So if there is one more, that skater gets kicked out.
Let's just see here. They all do come back to the
Skater
line.
position 3. Cross the line.
And there it is. Kim Gil-lee. It is actually the new rule. It's one chance and it's done. And so Kim Gil-lee.
And what's a real shame about that is that it wasn't because she twitched, it was because her blade slid over the line. And now everyone has been charged. So again, one more false start, and any other false starts, they're sent off the ice.
No margin for error. So it's down to 4, so a little bit more room out there on the ice, and then 500 meters, that's never necessarily a bad thing.
Go to the start.
And we'll see how they go again. Oh, nope, we are being told to wait for something. They're still closing the boards at the end of the ice and still ratcheting it up.
That's a good safety measure to take. Skaters on the line, though, really working hard to manage their nerves.
Go to the start. Ready.
The interesting contrasted starts. Blade placement and some looking down. Corinne Stoddard just almost looking down with her arms draped in front of her, almost looking like she was asleep or something, but she's awake now.
It's important to be fully relaxed so that when the gun goes off, everything twitches right into place.
Stormovska off to a good start. Shim in 3rd. Desmet in 4th. Stoddard taking a look. Stormovska holding them off for now.
Desmet building on the outside, Corinne moving up the inside.
And it is Stoddart moving on the inside. Desmet saw her avenue blocked, and it will be Corinne Stoddart winning the race to be final this time. And now third place in the Crystal Globe standings, wins this one, and that would be still a pretty good spot of points to those standings.
An aggressive start across the board. Stormowska getting all the way up into front. And then we're seeing a setup here by Corinne, a little shuffling down the straightaway to get that boost of speed going into the corner.
A very cool and composed race for Corinne Stoddart, name saying a lot this season, and I imagine it will be that way the rest of the season. So look at that margin, well out in front. Stormowska and Desmet second and third, Shim in fourth. So now that means you see the results here by almost 0.3 of a second. So
a decisive win by Stoddart.
0.3 of a second into this sport is an eternity.
An eternity. And what's great about Stoddart is that she's going to turn right around and cheer on her teammate, Kristen Santos Griswold. She told me earlier this week she doesn't watch all the races, but she watches every time her teammates on the ice.
And there you see a final coming up, and it is filled with the Maple Leaf. The Ice Maples, 3 skaters here, and the lights have gone down. Let's get to the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's women's 500 meters final A. Let's welcome the skaters. 女士们、先生们，即将进行的是女子500米决赛，让我们欢迎运动员入场。Position number 1， 1号位 Dutch Lions， 来自荷兰 Sandra Velzeboer。Position number 2， 2号位 Canadian Ice Maples， 来自加拿大 Florence Brunel。Position number 3， 3号位 Canadian Ice Maples， 来自加拿大 Ricky Doak。Position number 4， 4号位 Canadian Ice Maples， 来自加拿大 Kim Butcher。Position number 5， 5号位 USA Eagles， 来自美国 Kristen Santos Griswold。
Look at that. It is a maple leaf sandwich with a lion and eagle bread. Velzeboer, Brunel, Doak, Boutin, and Santos Griswold. Santos Griswold has not gotten a gold medal on the World Tour this season. Well, I guess any season. This is the first season of the World Tour. Velzeboer looking composed.
Go to the start. Ready.
Boutin out of position 4, can't get all the way up. She has to settle into 4th. Velzeboer, her customary position on the front. She has her chance to fly now.
Great defensive skating by Kim Boutin. Even though she doesn't get to the front, she does block the inside move by Santos Griswold. Now she really has to work to close that gap and set up a pass.
Only one woman has won 500-meter races on the World Tour this season. It's Sandra Velzeboer. Florence Brunel makes the move for the lead. Velzeboer strikes back. Can she make this move stick? Inside, 1 lap to go. It's Velzeboer in front. She is going to try to make it 3 for 3 on the World Tour.
And she does it. She does it in style. We've seen her chatting with all of her coaches, wondering what's going on. Is it equipment? Is there something wrong? Whatever it is, it doesn't seem that bad.
Emotions so often at the surface. We've seen them after those races come to the front, and there it's one emotion and it's joy. Santos Griswold did go down. She's on her feet. It is second and third for the Canadians, Florence Brunel and Ricky Doak. Here's the start.
So Kristen Santos Griswold knows she's not a great starter, so she goes immediately in towards the block rather than trying to compete. Kim Boutin does shut her down, and now we're seeing the pass by Florence Brunel, done well, sneaking up the inside, but Zandra Velzeboer getting her right back with no contact.
Very smoothly through.
Holding the inside lane, coming out of the last turn and diving for the line.
Grits her teeth, and then unbridled joy from Velzeboer.
And her coaches, again, both of these coaches in the heat box helping her after the last 2 rounds of races, all that hard work paying off.
Her sister there right behind, and yeah, now the emotion. So much has been felt by this woman today. There's her sister in the orange.
Feeling pretty proud of herself now.
Probably a chance for her to relax a bit this evening.
And all of these athletes have earned a night off. They'll take the day off tomorrow, but only to travel to Seoul, South Korea. They'll be back on the ice on Tuesday, racing again starting on Friday next week.
Any chance they get for the recovery, yeah, because this cycle there is the travel component involved for the World Tour. And there you have it, Velzeboer, Brunel, and Doak 1, 2, and 3. Boutin started in position 4 and just was never able to catch up to her teammates. So what usually happens, so you can see it at the far end of the ice on your screen. They're all getting their podium jackets. They're lining up behind the young women wearing the dresses on skates, I might add, with the medal trays. And the music begins. We'll throw it down for the medal ceremony.
Medals will be presented by the assistant referee Li Yu. 为获奖运动员颁奖的是副裁判长李友。In third place and the winner of the bronze medal from Canada, representing Canadian Ice Maples, Ricky Doak. 获得铜牌的是来自加拿大的里吉多克。 Ricky Doak. In second place and the winner of the silver medal from Canada, representing Canadian Ice Maple, Florence Brunel. 获得银牌的是来自加拿大的弗洛伦斯·布鲁内尔。 Representing Dutch Lions, Zandra Velzeboer. 获得金牌的是来自荷兰的桑德拉·贝尔塞博。 Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists，女士们、先生们，在 再次把掌声送给获奖运动员。
The Ice Maples women did not win a single individual medal on home ice. Well, they're making up for it now. Danae Blais with a gold in the 1,000, and now 2 more medals for Ricky Doak and Florence Brunel in the women's. What distance was that? It was the 500 meters. Oh, it took me a minute there. And the updated Crystal Globe standings. Mel Zabor getting points in pretty much everything, 500s and 1000s as you expect, and then today the 1500 as well. It was 4th, but it's the event that maybe you wouldn't see her always in, and that's when that could be the difference in the Crystal Globe standings.
That's right, and what's important to note there is that, again, with speed skating, short track speed skating being more of an all-around, we don't see much specialization in this sport. Consistency is key. You don't have to win every race, but if you can be, have your favorite, your best race, and then just stay in the top 6. That way nobody can run away with you with points. Even though it's not your best distance, you can still be consistent and compete.
And the skaters start to come out. Men's relay, just 2 races left here in Beijing, but they are pretty big ones. The men's B final 5,000 meter relay, the Japanese Ninjas, Polish Hussars, USA Eagles, and Italian Gladiators. Quickly, looks like we might have time. The Ninjas, Hayashi Kosei, Miyata Shogo, Iwasa Dan, and Watanabe Keita. Here's a look at Clayton DiClemente, Caleb Park, Andrew Hyo and Marcus Howard joining him. The Hussars have Michał Niewinski, Łukasz Kuczynski, DNA Cillier, and Felix Pigeon. And the Gladiators will have Pietro Siegel, Thomas Natalini, Mattia Antonioli, and Lorenzo Previtali. Gladiators had those options of who to go with earlier in the mixed relay. There was no Siegel, but he is out here today to lead the Gladiators in the B final. Hyo for the US, Cillier for the Hussars, Watanabe for the Ninjas, and Antonioli for the Gladiators.
Ready.
You saw the mixed relay earlier today. Those had the exchanges scheduled because they had to have the men's and women's skaters on the ice. Now it is a free-for-all, however, Catherine, skaters tend to do the same pattern.
That's right. So the men's race will start with a first time of a lap and a half exchange. I apologize. We'll be doing lap and a half exchanges all throughout, but we're already seeing a few teams off rhythm.
Doing it, yeah.
You're allowed to do that, no problem in this race. Even the Italian Gladiators choosing a little bit of a non-traditional strategy. The reason that you would do that is if you have a very strong skater who wants to take a little extra for the team, they'll do a 2-lap exchange, and then a weaker skater, or maybe just a tired skater, or a skater whose equipment isn't playing nice in the sandbox, they may only want to do 1 lap, and so it's very variable depending on the need of each team.
We saw yesterday the Korean White Tigers, one of their skaters had a skate issue and he just couldn't keep going. He was not able to keep his balance, and they did the back, I want to say, third of their relay with 3 skaters and still made it through, coming in second to the Canadian Ice Maples in a race for gold in just a little bit.
And so the rule on that is that every skater has to skate at least 1 lap. So even if you're going out on the ice knowing that one of your skaters or their equipment is compromised, that skater just has to put 1 lap in for for it to count. And then the other 3 will take over doing 2-lap exchanges. It is much harder, but obviously the Korean White Tigers having the depth, having the fitness to succeed under those conditions.
Under pressure they were yesterday. Right now, still waiting for that burst, that change. It's Łukasz Kuczynski pushing in Felix Pigeon, and it's Iwasa Dan for the Ninjas. And might be working according to Polish Hussars' plan right now with a lot of sprint-heavy talent.
And it can cause a little chaos in the pack when you have one or more than one team's not on point in terms of exchanges, but then it really is the team that's choosing to do something a little weird, a little different. It's their responsibility to manage their energy and stay smooth throughout the race. It does look like Team USA has gotten back onto a more common pattern, while the Italian Gladiators still seem to be doing something a little different. However, maybe they're about to get back on with the pack.
Things don't always go smoothly, and as Catherine points out, the teams that are most alert are the ones who still find success even through struggle.
And we are seeing the pace start to pick up, skaters pressing down into the ice.
Still Kuczynski to Pigeon. For the Hussars right now, it is Marcus Howard and Lorenzo Crevitali for the Gladiators. We're just waiting for the moment where someone might use the exchange as a chance to move up a position. Sometimes the opening is right there and you can almost see it coming before it happens.
And it is a 45-lap race. We're coming up on 26 laps to go, so less than 3,000 meters. I do expect to move here. Clayton Clemente, nice pass up in the second.
Now Nowinsky sitting on the front, the Hussars. Then sitting right on the front. A nice push by Nowinsky to shoot Łukasz Kuczynski back out in front.
Smooth move by the Japanese Ninjas up into second, and then great reaction from his teammate in the middle, being ready for the tag.
One of the taglines for the Ninjas was like blades of stealth, something like that. And mentioned the smooth move, and that's what came to mind for me.
I think I saw one skater saying, well, Ninjas are known for coming in and doing the work before anyone even knows that they're there, and that is the type of stealth we're seeing by these Japanese Ninjas on the ice.
Watanabe, is there a chance for a position? No. Little door open there, but Nowinsky shut it.
Nobody's really going for it yet, though. So we will see how this changes throughout. Nowinsky doing a multitude of defensive track patterns. So even though this isn't a top speed, he is. The Polish Hussars are actively practicing challenging track patterns to pass.
Still, very few moves in this race so far. It's been in this order for quite some time now, but you always know the other shoe is going to drop, and here it is. It's the USA Eagles right in time for the exchange. Marcus Howard makes the move.
Polish Hussars picking up the pace. I'd like to see the American Eagles responding a little quicker, and I'd like to see them closing that gap.
Cellier back to Kuczynski, and a nice exchange puts De Clemente right up on his sixth.
And now all teams are back together in a tight-knit pack. Again, as the laps wind down, I expect to see a big power move coming from somewhere in the back of the pack.
It's always the question mark is who's going to do it and who wants to do it first.
And if they wait too long, the Polish Hussars will keep them held back.
Caleb Park makes the move for the lead. And now the Gladiators trying to maybe plot a move out of fourth. It's Marcus Howard on the front for the Hussars. And Cellier, is that a pass for the lead? He does make it stick, but now the Eagles battle back. Keogh takes a look, not going to do it.
And that was a great example of why relay push timing is so important. If you're just 1/10 of a second off, you leave the door wide open for an attack.
A lot of horsepower on the front. The speed really picking up. Ninjas nicely making the move into second. Miyata Shogo. And now he gets Hayashi Kosei back in, trying to hang on. The Gladiators up into third.
And now we're starting to see the speed open up.
And the Eagles go down just as it ramps up, and now everything is off. Still, the Gladiators are differing on their exchange. They're doing the other half lap.
As good of recovery as can be expected by the USA Eagles, but there's no way they can get back up to the pack.
Sometimes it happens early in the race when things are still slow. Not so when it's 3 laps to go and 1 exchange left is allowed. It's Sillier. He will put Niewinski back into it. It will be Miyata Shogo to try to close things off for the Ninjas. The doors open on the inside. And Miyata makes it stick. Niewinski just trying to stay there, lost some grip a little bit, lost some space. And a nice win potentially in the B final for the Japanese Ninjas. Racing clean, nothing getting reviewed.
So a slow start, but an exciting finish for our 5,000 meter B final.
It's a lot of work for Niewinski. So long on the front.
And so watching these track patterns as the skaters come, oh, we're seeing that fall. Looks like just a kick with the blocks.
Park, I believe.
All crossovers for the Polish Hussars as they fight to defend, but those stealthy Japanese Ninjas sneaking up the inside.
Miyata nicely gives them the victory.
See how they're holding 2 feet on the ice. That means that they're either going so fast they can barely hold it, or the ice conditions can barely hold it. A right hand coming down into a 2-hand pivot for that stealthy Ninja, showing great control at top speed.
And that's the B final. There you have it. Ninjas, Hussars, Gladiators, and the Eagles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one final race from here in Beijing before this whole group sets off for Seoul next weekend. Just one big race still to come, and that is, as always, the men's 5,000 meter A final. And really, in a sport that is very unpredictable, the 4 teams that have made it through are some of the strongest combined. And we will throw things down as they introduce the 4 teams to take the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's men's 5,000 meters relay final A. Let's welcome the skaters. Ladies and gentlemen, 即将进行的是男子5000米接力赛决赛，让我们欢迎运动会入场。Position number 1，1号位 Dutch Lions 荷兰队。Position number 2，2号位 Chinese Rose 中国队。Position number 3，3号位 Canadian Ice Makers 加拿大队。Position number 4，4号位 Korean White Tigers 韩国队。
Quite the dramatic music here in Beijing. And it must be said, Jordan Pierre-Gilles One tough son of a gun. So it went head over heels in an earlier race, popped up, and here he is racing in the A final, and does not look too worse for it. I guess he just rubbed some dirt in it and came right back in.
Well, I do notice the first thing he's done out there is he crouched down in that skating position, testing his equipment, making sure his body feels good as he's fully compressed into the ice.
And they do have alternates as well. Philippe Daudelin did skate in their quarterfinal race. And we will go. You saw all four of them introduced. Those introductions allow the teams to have a little fun before it's time to get down to business.
Go to the start. Ready.
So many more variables than just a traditional race. They're used to it. It always ends on the relay, but it's after a long weekend of competition. So in addition to tired legs, the ice it's taken a beating over the course of a week.
It sure has, and so something interesting about speed skating is that as they shift the tracks, the blocks move meter by meter down the track, and so one side gets fresh ice every time, whereas the other side, the chewed up ice continues to be exposed. So we will see how the athletes maintain their speed as they try to navigate through the ruts in the ice.
Jung-Sun Woo on the ice in the lead for the White Tigers right now. Like the ovation when those lungs got introduced. Li Wenlong in there right now, and there is Jordan Pierre-Gilles, and he pushes William Dongenou right up into second place.
So well-timed move and a powerful push.
It's always the case with the Canadian side. I would imagine Stephen Dubois would be, no, never mind. Stephen Dubois, I always forget that. He ends the mixed relay. Usually it's William Dongenou on the men's relay, but we'll see how things go. And it is Felix Bussel. As Catherine pointed out, he showed plenty of prowess skating from the front.
It's great to see him comfortable up in the lead. No struggling for position so far by the Chinese Longs or the Dutch Lions. So the Korean White Tigers and Canadian Ice Maples spending the majority of the energy so far in this race.
The Ice Maples went 2 for 2 back in Montreal. A bump from Pierre-Gilles right into the back of Jung-Sun Woo. Sort of a excuse me little move there.
And you see the Korean skaters often looking down between their legs. They're saying, who's behind me, who's skating wide, who's skating tight, how do I need to adjust based on the information I now have?
And that last look around, Kim Tae-sung looked through his legs and only saw William Dongenou, so I wonder if his thought was gulp.
Gulp. I have a feeling that the Korean White Tigers are keeping an eye out for the Chinese Longs, because the Chinese Longs are here on their home ice. Even if they haven't been the strongest team throughout the weekend, they are the biggest threat given the conditions here tonight.
Park Ji-won, Stephen Dubois on the front right now. And it was just Liu Xiaowang on the ice right now. Now there is the move for second, getting the roar from the fans, and that one is Li Wenlong.
So now at this point, hey, if I were in this race, I'd be setting up the power moves. I would not want to be the Ice Maples or the Dutch Lions sitting in back. I'd want to get out to the front. Dan Kaas taking a little extra space, skating out wide. Let's see if they can set something up.
And trying to look on the inside of the Canadians, not quite there as Bussel shut the door.
And that might not be the strongest exchange for the Dutch Lions. Every team does typically have one pair of skaters, if not more, that just has impeccable timing and works well together, and that's typically the leg of the relay where you save the energy to make the pass.
The Dutch in the quarterfinals went quick. They absolutely dominated their quarterfinal, and it wasn't really for anything other than going fast. That move just got a thumbs up from Catherine Reuter-Adamek next to me.
Well, it looks so good. It looks so good. It sucked a lot moving the team from fourth to third, but the Ice Maples fighting back. They don't want to give up that medal contending spot.
Dongenou saw a stumble and made the move up into third. All the while, the White Tigers and Lungs 1 and 2. It's Park Jung-yuk on the ice right now, ahead of really the man of the weekend for the Lungs, Sun Long.
So much jockeying for position between third and fourth place. The Korean White Tigers and Chinese Lungs conserving energy at the front. No back and forth between these two teams.
Park Ji-won, pardon me, on the front, and he will bring in Jung-sun Woo. It's very close, 4 teams. Now the Dutch line's taking a look.
Pace is picking up.
You have Gilles on the back, also trying his own move of his own.
You hear
almost.
The roar of the crowd every time China makes a move, whether they make it or not. It's a committed home crowd here.
Kim Tai-sung now holding it off as he brings in Park Jung-yuk. And Sun Long wants some more adulation this weekend, but it's the Lions taking a look into second.
It is the Lions. The Longs missed a crossover going into that corner, unable to maintain his speed, but I bet they'll get it back.
And here comes Jens van het Wout trying to chase down Park Ji-won inside. 13 laps to go. And now they go for the lead. And the Longs into second. Can they go for first? Oh, a stumble. They stay on for second. And all the while, the Dutch Lions still in front. They're challenging, they're bending, but they're not breaking. Dan Koss now. And the Canadians are down. Danjanu goes down. Roussel, I don't think got tagged, and the Canadians have missed the tag up. Here comes Pierre Gilles. I don't think they missed it, it was just belated. They might have missed what was going on. And it is Jens van het Wout, and so we might have our 3 pending any reviews. And it was on that corner that you were pointing out that might have been a bit more used up. Van het Wout. In goes Itzhak Dalat. Inside 6.
Really great defensive skating. China's trying every trick in the book, but they haven't gotten by yet.
They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at the Lions, and they go down. Now the Lungs lead, but the White Tigers are there. A stumble out of the corner, shoulder to shoulder.
A 2-arm pivot by the Chinese Lungs. They only have 3 laps left.
And 1 more exchange is allowed. 1 more look for the Lungs. It's Park Ji-won. He's passed for the lead.
Wow.
It is Liu Xiaoang leading the way. Now he has to play defense. At the bell, down goes Park. And it is going to be the Lungs soaking it in.
In front of their home crowd. What a tremendous finish. Look at the excitement from these coaches.
2 incidents being reviewed. But a number of the collisions just happened on that side where the wear and tear that comes with being the last race of the weekend.
And look at the team celebrating together with their coaches.
World champions showing how it's done, how to survive a war of attrition.
It's a challenging lifestyle to be the athlete in this sport. The amount of training every day, every week, and culminating in opportunities like this. The joy of a great finish on home ice.
Now they can soak it in. Heartbreak. So close for the Lions. And it is. Let's see if it's been made official. Not just yet. They are confirming, as we saw, there were a couple of incidents.
So let's watch here that a little bump there from the Korean White Tiger. Defending the inside lane doesn't seem to impact the outcome of the race. An inside move here by Itzhak Dalat, and it's smooth, it's clean, but look, he has 2 feet on the ice. There's no crossover there, so he's losing speed by not moving his feet as he recovers from the pass.
And that was Danjanu.
Going down, Felix Roussel never did receive the pass. Joram Pierre Gilles turning around for the tag.
Here's Dan Koss, and let's see. Oh, just couldn't hold it.
Gets stuck on his heels, and you are seeing these 2-foot pivots. They have 2 feet down on the ice. That is some combination of the ice not holding them up and their speed being so fast they can barely torque themselves around the turn.
Then it was head-to-head, Liu Xiaoang and Park Ji-won. But then Park also went down. Let's take a look. Going out wide.
All crossovers here, a beautiful defensive move, stepping out by Shaolin.
And yeah, just Park on his own, just legs out from under him again.
Shaolin or Xiao?
That's Xiaoang.
Xiaoang, sorry about that. And coming around, making it look so good.
Soaking it in.
Beauty. That's how it's done, folks.
It's essentially the victory lap at the end when there's nobody around you.
And I'll tell you from experience, there's nothing like winning in front of a roaring crowd. These athletes would be elated even if this stadium was empty, but fueling on the energy of the crowd, it's electric.
And so I just see for the final race cleared. So I think everything is finalized. Indeed, that is the case. The lungs finish with a bang. And another moment to take the praise. The results: the Chinese lungs, the Korean White Tigers, the Dutch Lions 1, 2, and 3. And the Canadian Ice Maples still picking up a good chunk of points, but fourth for them on this day.
We'll get ready for the medal ceremonies.
And a lot of fans are staying.
And wait for the Chinese lungs to deliver here in the men's 5,000 meter relay after yesterday a penalty in the ladies 3,000 meter relay.
We're going to get maybe the biggest roar of the weekend coming up when they get their medals, although that crossing the finish line was pretty good too. Here we go, down to the ice for the medal presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the men's 5,000 meters relay at the ISU Short Track World Tour Beijing, China, 2024 to 2025.
女士们、先生们，2024至2025赛季国际滑联短道速滑世界巡回赛北京站男子5000米接力赛颁奖仪式现在开始。
Medals will be presented by the chief referee, Ms. Balázs Kovalu, and assistant referee Li Yong.
为获奖运动员颁奖的是裁判长巴拉兹科维尔、副裁判长李勇。
In third place and the winner of the bronze medal from Netherlands, representing Dutch Lions.
获得铜牌的是荷兰队
Jens van Wald, Toon Boa, Isaac de Laat, Dan Kos. Dutch Lions. In second place and winner of the silver medal from Korea Republic, representing Korean White Tigers.
获得银牌的是韩国队
Park Ji-won, Jang Sung-woo, Kim Tae-sung, Park Jong-ho. Korea Republic.
中国队。刘少昂、孙龙、李文龙、刘少林。Ladies and gentlemen, the medalists， 女士们、先生们，再次把掌声送给获奖运动员。
A rousing send-off for the home fans, finishing things off with quite the exclamation mark. 2 relay wins in a single day for the Chinese lungs, and if we're talking about that Team Crystal Globe standings, that'll help.
That'll help a lot. Tremendous finish by the Chinese lungs, again, coming off of a lackluster performance in Montreal and really delivering here at home.
Look at those standings now. Canadian Ice Maple still with 2 wins from Montreal. Now the lungs are right up there as well in the 5,000-meter relay standings. The White Tigers also hanging around, but 3 more events to come, and that will likely not stay the same. There will be a big reshuffling to come all the way down. Norway did one of the relays in Montreal there. And that is it from Beijing. As we take a look at that Team Crystal Globe standings, it's now, let's see, about 650 points for the Canadian Ice Maples. They still had a very good weekend despite not being on home ice. And they maintain a solid lead still, but like we just said, long way to go.
A long way to go. We're only halfway through the World Tour season. There are 3 more stops next week in Seoul, and then culminating in the test event for the 2026 Olympic Games in Milan, Italy in February.
That is next weekend in Seoul, and then the stops in the Netherlands. And in Italy, those will be in February. Catherine gets to go to Seoul for next week. You will be without me next week, but Catherine, have a great time. I hear great things about Seoul, though you've probably experienced the ice as well, or have you?
I sure have.
There you go. She knows well, so expect more great insight on that whole experience from Catherine Reuter-Adamek next weekend. But you hear the music. It's time for us to go. On behalf of Catherine and everybody who has put this weekend together, thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, I'm Gavin Day. Goodbye.